Ah man, hold on. Hold on, yeah. Y'all should be able to hear me though. For the show. We're just waiting on Deculturation to show up. I'm not gonna lie. We're just waiting on Deculturation to show up, and we can get into it. Because it shouldn't be a new conversation. Like it's not a new conversation, I'll say. But yeah, it's one of those things, and where I think it needs to be had, especially due to the placings that we're in right now with like Mamdani in New York. Mamdani in New York is somebody else. Somebody else. Hold on. Somebody else that I had my eye on for like a little minute. Hopefully Deculturation does not stand me up. Hopefully Deculturation does not stand me up. But I'm just joking. But it is a conversation that needs to be had about like how the Democratic Party is doing this specific type of recuperation. Hold on. He's always late. But it's a specific type of recuperation that the Democrats participate in every like Darreliza. Yep, Darreliza in New York. Oh, 5 p.m. I guess I can do I could just talk for the time being until Deculturation shows up. But like I think it's a conversation to be had with either or. LA. I don't okay. I know about the DSA here. Yeah, we in different time zones. I'm in Central. Deculturation is in a different time zone. But that should be cool. But when it comes to the DSA, I've never done work with the DSA. I've never organized with the DSA. But I mean, anybody with like anybody could just like see that what the DSA is it's just a funnel organization for the Democratic Party. Like it's not it's a funnel organization, so it's not one in where it's like hold on, where it's like actually generating socialism. Because it's like then you have to go into a conversation about what socialism in a settler colony looks like, and where I don't think a lot of people are ready for that conversation. Because then we have to talk about. We're not going to do this with Deculturation on the live, but then that's when you have to talk about hierarchy. Because woo, CJ's an anarchist, a black anarchist to be specific, but anarchist nonetheless. But yeah, so when we start talking about like the notions of we can just start getting into it. We can start talking about the notions of like hold on. we can get into. I'm not scared to critique any organization, especially live. I'm not. Oh, but what I was about to say, we could get into PSL, RCA, any of one of those orgs, in which I think the main criticism that I'll have will remain the same for each one of those organizations. We can get into DSA. I mean, when we get into like conversations about like PSL and things like that, the reason why like PSL is like not going to do anything is because PSL is like if I'm not mistaken, I think Roy Singham. That's like the guy who's over PSL. Roy Singham is a billionaire. He just lives in China. That's why like PSL and DSA especially have like extreme pro-China sentiment. Like that is one of the main reasons why they have extreme pro-China sentiment. But yeah. So it's like we're probably gonna end up talking about like the whole line. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Zohran Mamdani, when it comes to AOC, Bernie, and really what I wanted to get into this, I'll wait till Deculturation gets here, but really getting into how Democrats co-opt more so in this specific context when it comes to Palestinian resistance, when it comes to like Palestinian resistance as it comes to the domestic struggle that I hope people are trying to protract, but you're not going to find that in DSA. You're not going to find it in PSL. You're not going to find it in RCA, and it's a reason why. But yeah, I got a PDF on Black Anarchism. You posted in the video. You talking about the one by from Lorenzo? From Lorenzo, yeah. I did that in my video, Anarchism or Marxism and Leninism. So yeah, I think that's one of my favorite videos that I made, other than Free Pooh Shiesty. Free Pooh Shiesty. That's a I will like revisit that case, I believe, in a future video. But like when it comes to the case with Pooh Shiesty, I think a lot of people just don't understand. And where it's like I think what ends up happening organizing as an anarchist, you have the time or topic comes up. I mean, I could talk about it now. I don't have like, it's no specific org that like I organize with. More so it's just doing things off my own muscle. I'll say like that's pretty much what like organizing as of late has been relegated to for me when it comes to more so anarchic things. Like I'm not scared or like I'm not adverse to organizing with other organizers, especially because I organize with other Black people. Like I organize with other Black people. I think it really gets into a conversation of like organizing as a Black person and organizing with non-Black people. I think that's a conversation that like a lot of people, especially within like ML spaces, aren't willing to have, because I mean, you see where the interest for most MLs is, in which is a class, like class, like, you know what I'm saying? We're all a part of the working class until you're not a part of the working class. You know what I'm saying? Until you go into deeper discussions about why things such as anti-blackness repurpose themselves within organizing spaces. And where I think what video I'm gonna drop the link to that video, because one of my mentor duo, one of my favorite duos of all time, they get into that in their it's a YouTube video too, on anti-Black solidarity in the collective unconscious. So like how does anti-Blackness continuously pop up even within like supposed radical spaces, supposed spaces of solidarity? Why does this keep happening? Idris Robinson? No. But enlighten me. Please do. But yeah, that's one thing I'll say. It's like when it comes to like that's another thing like I've been seeing like a lot from like what's that one dude named James Ray, and like I think it was the other dude from Means TV. Like when they were like when they were doing the whole yeah, just get organized with anybody, and it's like no, like no, this is not what you want to be telling people. What's up? That's the video that I was just talking about, you all. I just dropped it in the comments. Oh, that's my own live. Oh my god, let me delete this. Let me delete that. Oh no, I accidentally deleted somebody else's message. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Getting organized with anyone would like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The ACP. The ACP is not a good organization that you want to organize with. Just because like you're organized, that does not mean so yeah, that's a link to the video. I'll actually pin it. But yeah, that is not a good thought train to be going down. I'm gonna be so for real. Because yeah, you shouldn't just be getting organized with anybody. You should be getting organized with people who are actually trying to do stuff within the community. And it's like ACP really like, okay, y'all may have did this or that, but at the end of the day, like I honestly view all of them as like I view that as like federal. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm not gonna say too much because I know how they like to get. But yeah. Yeah, like ACP is just a settler movement. It's just a white supremacist movement. Like it's a textbook white supremacist movement. Like I wish I wasn't on Streamlabs. Not Streamlabs. I wish I was on Streamlabs. I can actually go into detail about it. Like I can actually go into depth about like the ACP. Like I actually show people stuff from like, you know what I'm saying, like the logo that they use. Like that one logo that they use is like crazy. Have you ever spoke? All power to the people. You talking about hold on. I think I know exactly who you talking about. He got like a low cut. Have I ever? Yeah, I've been on a pen. If we talking about the same guy, he got like 7,000 on Instagram. Yeah, we was on a panel together, and he just made a video that got him a lot of hate, but it's really a discussion that needs to be had, and where he's talking about where the results that you'll hear a lot of like white Leninist or like white leftists talk about you know what I'm saying, this is what we've done. We've done this. We've done that. Excuse me. Well, you haven't did shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you haven't did shit. But when you look at projects such as the USSR, when you look at projects, this is something that Anarch goes into detail about. But when you look into projects such as the USSR and stuff, there wasn't socialism. You just can't call yourself a union of Soviet socialist republics and then say, yeah, this is socialism. It's not socialism. Yeah, they're super transphobic, homophobic. Like they believe that like it's they believe like actually genuinely like trying to struggle that heteronormativity just doesn't exist, and like struggling against heteronormativity is somehow like counter-revolutionary or it's bourgeois. It's just fucking they're white cis men. That is the first red flag of organizing, I can say. If you are in an organization and it is led by straight cishet white men, get the fuck out of there. Yeah, even under Lenin, like Lenin did a lot of things. Like, I mean, it's not even just like when he got into power. It was even before Lenin got into quote unquote power. Thoughts on Dr. Ball. I watch a lot of Dr. Ball's content, like back in the day. I'll say like back in the day, this being last year. Like I watch Dr. Ball. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Ball has a lot of good work. Dr. Ball's book is also good. Um, it's a good read. I think I put that on my recommendations on TikTok, even though I haven't been on TikTok in a minute. But yeah, Dr. Ball is solid. But yeah, like back to what I was talking about the USSR. Um, the USSR never was able to get over the hump because it was still a state. There's no such thing as like state sanctioned socialism. There's no such thing as stated socialism. Like a state can't be like the functions of the state cannot generate socialism, and where it's like socialism will have to be horizontal, in which things like the USSR is just a bureaucracy. It's just a statist bureaucracy. It's a chain of command and all that. Yeah, meant the black buying power. Yeah. I think those conversations about like black buying power are important. Because you'll see, this is just from me talking because I'm black. From in the community, that yeah, if we just like got our dollars together, that we could if we just got, yeah, I think General Strike posted it on their YouTube. But if we just got our dollars together, we can probably get over white supremacy. And it's like no. Like no. Like no. There's no amount, and it's like the black dollar in the way that people pose it as like it's this thing that is constantly circulating. You know what I'm saying? No. Idris Robinson is the book. Okay. The Revolt Eclipses. All right. I've been telling one of my friends this, Lucas. I've been telling him I haven't been reading lately. I have not been reading. Like, okay, yeah, duh, I read every day. But like I haven't like sat down and like, yeah, this is what I'm reading today. You know what I'm saying? I haven't did that. Like I think that book's right here, actually. And I do like, what I like to do is also I like to reread and do like closed textual readings of text that I read before. And this being one of them. This being one of them. This is like decal 101. This is like decal 101. This is decolonization 101. You'll hear so and so talk about this theory, that theory, this theory, you know what I'm saying, the other theories. This is the only thing you need. This is the only thing you need. I'm just playing. But no, like definitely one of the most foundational books in my journey, getting away from I wouldn't say so much statism, because in the book Fanon explicitly states for a statist apparatus. But when we're talking about the distancing that Fanon takes from traditional and classical Marxism, into where he's more so talking about this from the perspective of a colonial subject, not just a colonial subject, a black colonial subject. And where like another text by Fanon that I recommend is Black Skin, White Mask, because that is one of the, like, as an Afro-pessimist, this is another book that's like, I wouldn't say like you have to read it in order to, but like that's a book that if you want to read up on like Black ontology, that's a good text, you know what I'm saying, to get into ontology, which is just Black existence. So I don't know. Like, I mean, like, pretty much, it's like with a lot of people, like a lot of thinkers, a lot of like radicals, everybody has their like own like definitions of what the quote unquote state is. I say, like, a lot of people have their own definitions for what the state is. So it's like a lot of people, especially in the context of like Fanon was writing in like the 50s and 60s. I know with some like thinkers that were like I wouldn't say big, but like were prominent during this time, the state was seen as something that could quote unquote protect the revolution. You know what I'm saying? It can help the revolution translate or whatever. It can protect it. It gives the people the legitimacy. That's another thing, like legitimacy. Also, nationalism is probably another like reasoning why. But like um this is where I will go this is where I start getting I'd start diverging from a lot of thinkers at that time. Uh, like I don't really believe in a state. So that's pretty much it. So it's like I don't believe that a state is intrinsically needed. Because I'm not about to put words in Fanon's mouth. Like I'm not about to do that. So I'm not about to be like, oh yeah, this is the reason. This is why I think. And it's like if Fanon never explicitly said, I know like reasonings why, I could probably like theorize why he would want one. But yeah, when it comes down to it, a lot of people just want a state because it is something that's seen as something that is needed. It's a necessity. What are your thoughts on indigenous liberation and land back on Turtle Island? I'm a proponent of it. I'm seriously a proponent of like indigenous people getting their like you know what I'm saying, like the dismantling of the settler colonial apparatus. Uh, of course, of course. Blood in My Eye informs anti slash decolonial politics. That's another book that I'll say is was very like Black August is coming up soon, but I'll say that's another book. Yeah, Rodney too. But like when it comes to land back, that's another thing that like misses a lot of Marxist Leninists in the West. Like the thought of land back, a lot of them don't support land back. They think land back is silly, they believe it's stupid. And you will hear some people even say dumb shit like we're no better than Israelis. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but I'll also say this: when it comes to Blood in My Eye, you also have to realize who George Jackson is talking to when he's writing. He's talking to New Africans, in which that's another like whole New Africanism is a whole like it's not a distinct tradition, but that's a whole different tradition. Like I said, that's a deep history, and where I have a lot like that's another thing like. I don't go live much no more. I really don't make appearances on like short form content. So like yeah, that's another thing. I have a lot in stock when it comes to like different I have an essay about New Africa and like the Black Liberation Army. Yeah, a lot of Marxists are just racist or anti-black. It just is what it is. This just is what it is. But yeah. But yeah, like I've heard like crazy stuff like New Africa is I've heard stuff like New Africa is Zionism. Really don't get that. I really don't get that. I don't get how one can look at the Zionist history and then be like, oh yeah, the motherfuckers who were genocided onto this land are the same exact thing as this. Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, people will say like New Africa like is Zionism. This is like another reason why I had to get off TikTok. It's too much slop. It's too much slop. Nah. Hey man, I told you. I told you. Deculturation stood me up. It was some I'm just playing. He just texted me. He was like on his way. But a workers' revolutionary. Yeah, a workers' revolution in a settler colony is not gonna, uh thoughts on Prairie Land. I gave thoughts on Prairie Land more so on Twitter. Um, but like I can give like my thoughts on Prairie Land too. What I don't like about the Prairie Land case is how lowly discussed uh what I make of it, of course. That's another thing. That's another text. Read a soldier story by Kwesi Balagoon. It's another that's another book that helped me with my radicalization process into like black anarchism, um, slash what I have now, Afro pessimist. Well, I've always not always had it, but I'm a black anarchist and an Afro pessimist, pretty much. Anarcho Afro pessimism. Call it what you want. I'm a black anarchist and Afro pessimist. But yeah, like when it comes to like the left not talking about prairie land, like a lot of MLs are just now talking about prairie land because it's advantageous. What is Anarchism 101? Peter Kappa, I'm just playing. God in the State by Mikhail Bakunin. That is Anarchism 101. No, I think I'm just joking. But I don't think there really is like an anarchism 101, because what you have to understand about like anarchism, it's not really it's different forms. It's different forms of anarchism. B, not all anarchists like each other. C, and like I said, anarchism is just distinct on whatever like tradition you're pulling from. So like black anarchists such as myself, yes, like is there influence from Euro anarchic traditions? Yes. But like largely am I pulling from that when I'm talking? No. No, I'm not pulling from Kropotkin. I'm not pulling from Bakunin. I'm not pulling from like, you know what I'm saying, Euro traditions for real. So like this is what I'm saying. Like when MLs were like, oh, did you know Spanish anarchists did this? It has nothing to do with me. I'm not a Spanish anarchist. Fuck. So there is no like staunch reading list that like in my experience, this is just my experience as an anarchist. There is no staunch reading list that like anarchists collectively adhere to, because pretty much it's really about like, yeah. Like of course there are tenets that as an like of course you have to reject hierarchy, of course you have to reject the state, of course you have to reject these things. But like when it comes down to like there being this like with MLs, like okay, yeah, you have to read State and Revolution, bro. You have to read anarchism, or I think that's the bullshit that Stalin dropped, anarchism or socialism, some shit like that. You have to read this by Marx. There is no like, you know what I'm saying? So like I'll say white anarchism is more, yeah, on authority and shit. By Engels. Oh my god. But what was I finna say? Like Marxists just really don't like. I remember I was going back and forth with a Marxist about that like 2 days ago on Twitter. Um, and where like Marxists have this belief that they have a monopoly on like definitions of imperialism, they have a monopoly on definitions of the state, they have a monopoly on definitions of capitalism, they have a monopoly on everything. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's a Marxist definition, this is the best definition that is available, and that's just bullshit. Just bullshit. The difference between white and black anarchism, I'll say like Euro traditions of anarchism. That's another thing that somebody I'm trying to get into, but it's this assumptive logic that like Euro-centered and even some black anarchists come to, and where this is more so of a Afro-pessimist analysis. It's a assumptive logic of like collective liberation, of like the root causes of our problems are all the same. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like all problems are all the same. We're fighting the same fight, and we're like, for example, I'm just gonna say this. Like, for example, like somebody asked me about like land back. The simplest way that I can put it is contingent violence versus gratuitous violence. So when it comes to like land back, when it comes to indigenous liberation, when it comes to like these struggles for, you know what I'm saying, like I said, land back in Palestine as well, this is more so these are more so struggles to get rid of the colonial apparatus. That is what is going on here. Yeah, Ashanti Austin. It's another black anarchist that you all need to put on your radar. But yeah, so when it comes to collected idea of collective liberation, I don't think MLs and anarchists should engage with each other. pretty much like, okay, like, yeah, if I see a ML out in public, like, am I going to just, oh my god, this is a Marxist Leninist? I'm probably gonna walk past you. I'm just being for real. But like ML's an anarchist organization, or like this whole doctrine of left unity, no, there is no such thing such as left unity. There's no such thing as left unity. Thoughts on FD? How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? Nah, bro, I didn't talk to Signifier before. You know what I'm saying? I didn't talk to Signifier. The way I actually, so like, actually I can talk about this because Signifier, like, you know what I'm saying? Like FD didn't already like mention me on the stream channel. So like I can talk, because I got a lot of like subs from that, in which I told FD, some of your subs be tripping. But let's take out down let's take out down the timeline. So like this is just like middle consciously, you know what I'm saying? I don't think MLs can be libertarian socialist. But I was about to say, but when it comes to FD, so like we was on, this is consciously had dropped that one video in which it doesn't exist anymore. It went poof. Wonder what happened to it. But consciously had made that one video of where he was like, where he turned me into Venom and some more shit. Like that was just fucking horrid. I'm not gonna lie, that was horrid. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Cause like, okay, I can tell. Okay, story time until Deculturation shows up. So like, I'm gonna make a video about this. I'm gonna walk through the whole entire me versus. So this is the thing. I have a 2-hour video sitting on this laptop that I'm streaming off of right now. I have a 2-hour video detailing the whole me versus consciously situation. The reason why the general public has not seen that video is because the box that I was basically using and where you can see my head, like, you know what I'm saying, I forgot to shrink it. So it's some stuff, like it's some tweets that like I end up cropping out of my frame, in which also I just want to remake that video. I'm not gonna lie. I just want to remake that video. So it's unreleased. But that whole thing started because I had he had did that thing with Jasmine Crockett. And so this is last summer. We got a flashback to last summer. And so this is when, you know what I'm saying, I'm gaining traction. I'm gaining traction. You know what I'm saying? I'm not noticing how much traction I'm gaining, but I'm gaining traction. You know what I'm saying? This is I'm fresh off of, I'm also gonna drop a retrospective video about that. About like me and Christian Devon. But this is when you got so this is, you know what I'm saying, I've already come up, hey, my name is CJ, I'm finna cook you. Like I've already done that. You know what I'm saying? We've already been here. And so he ends up making this video with Jasmine Crockett. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you be pro-pally and like be how can you be pro-pally and how can you like do this with the Zionists? I don't see it. Like, how are you platforming the Zionists and not like challenging the Zionists on anything? Because like a nigga like me, like I'll just keep it a being. Like I remember I was in DC this time. I was in DC and the videos are like out in the public. I was in DC and this is when I saw Ted Cruz. What up? This is when I saw Ted Cruz and Cory Booker on the same day. And Ted Cruz said I was endorsing genocide. Yeah, Ted Cruz told me that straight to my face. You didn't see, like, that's the thing. Like, you didn't see me on that day when I saw Cory Booker and Ted Cruz. You didn't see me like, hey, yo, can we set up the mics? Can we set up the mics? Can we, you know what I'm saying, get the production? Can we get the production team? And can I sit down and interview you about how black people should be able to get back into the fold of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party? What can Republicans or like what the fuck would I be doing that for? The fuck would I be doing that for? That's the same thing I told him on the live. What would I be doing that for? So that's when we had did that or whatever. And so we had so that's I'm tripping. So that's when I had seen that video of him and Crockett, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this? What the hell is this? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. North Korea is not socialist either. I don't understand like why this is a discourse every 5 months. But fast forward back to the story time. So I saw that and I'm like, I got something like, what the fuck is this? And then so I'm like, all right, bro, I'm just gonna make a video. Like it's nothing for me to make a TikTok. So I make the video. Hey, my name is CJ. I'm gonna cook you, and it's unconsciously, like consciously in this case, is getting cooked. And so I just asked them a simple question, like, why are we asking the Democratic Party how to restore Black people's faith within this white supremacist institution, in which I just don't see the benefit nor like the reasoning why this should be happening. And so like some time goes on and where like Lee actually liked that video. Lee actually liked that video. And I was like, oh, he just not gonna think nothing of it. So some time went on and I'm like, yo, okay, he just liked the video. So like a month passed, and then this is when he started beefing with like a bunch of like liberals because he went back on his stance about Kamala. And so this is when he made like a 2 hour, I think that live stream is still up. He made a 2 hour live stream, and like I was one of the subjects of the fucking live stream. And so I was like, yo, I'm like, don't put me in with these other no, I'm not a liberal. At this point, I'm a decolonial Marxist. So at this point, I'm not even black. I'm not even a black anarchist yet. I'm a decolonial Marxist. I'm like, but like still, like my politic is like to here from them over here. Like, so I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And so like I made a video, like I made a direct message to him. I think that video is called Direct Message to Consciously. And so I had made that video. And so after that, like again, it cools down for like a hot minute. It cools down for like a month. And so like he ends up dropping the whole video. So like this is where like I said, this is where we get into the discussion about the question with somebody who's like thoughts on FD. So I had looked at my phone and I had seen a video. I'm literally on a plane to Atlanta. I was on a plane to Atlanta because it was the Black Radical Book Fair at the time. In which Lorenzo and Janina they were speaking. And so I was going to Atlanta doing other stuff, being a fucking college student. Duh. So, you know what I'm saying? So I had went to Atlanta and I had seen on my phone, I had seen that Lee, yeah, I've read that book multiple times on stream. I've also, when it comes to that book, I've read it. I've that's also a book that I use in anarchism or Marxism, Leninism as well. Hold on, let me see, because I'm trying to go back in time real quick. And no, we don't even gotta, okay, we can talk about this after I talk about this. So that's when he makes the video and it's like purity politics. And I'm like, what the fuck? Hold on. This is what is purity politics? Is the left eating itself? I don't know if y'all can see this or not. Oh shit. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, I can't wait. I think it's the glare of my camera or something. It's the glare of my like computer. So basically he had made that it's a little too dark. Path to power. Okay, I can just say that real quick. I don't see the utility in gaining power in like a settler colonial hierarchical relationship, like in a settler colony. Like I think that's another thing. Like I don't want to and then I don't want to latch on to like the power of like a status apparatus. I think that's what like distinguishes like anarchist and Marxist Leninists mainly, and where Marxist Leninists they're trying to get power within the status apparatus. I'm trying to dismantle it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So and then he changed the title. He changed the title like 4 times after he dropped. It was at first it was radical words, comfortable thoughts. Like that's what the thumbnail said. And then he said the revolution requires homework and practice. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? And so then he changed the thumbnail and title to "Is the left eating itself? What is purity politics?" And then yeah, I was like, okay. And then this is when he turned me into Venom. Like I told y'all, he turned me into Venom. Like that's me. That's me. Hold up. Like he turned me into Venom, and I didn't like that shit. I did not like that shit. I did not like that shit. And so that's when he dropped like a portion of the video. Hold up. That's when he did like this. Pieces and you think pieces about consciousness. Like that's when he dropped this. So yeah, this is like the video. Like when he was like, what I had to say about him came from Twitter and all this bullshit. And so I was like, okay, let me fancy this real quick. Why I don't know. You gotta ask him. I didn't, when he dropped the shit and I saw no. I didn't even know, like, okay. This is what happened. So I was actually on the plane to Atlanta and my homie, so I had no service. So when I touched back down, I got all the messages of me sending it to people. Oh my God, here he is. That's when I got all of the messages from people and they were like, what did they say? They were like, yo, like, what is he doing? Like, did he just turn you to? No, my homie had sent me a sticker. He sent me a sticker because that's like the jokes that we use. He sent me a sticker, and I'm like, bro, where did you get this? Like, did you make this? Where did you get this from? And so yeah, he turned me into, like, I was like, wait, that's me. I was like, whoa. I'm like, whoa, because I didn't watch the whole video because, like I said, I was on the plane. I was like, whoa, that's me. I'm like, wait, let me sit down and watch this. I was like, I didn't like that. So when I basically got I got down to Atlanta, I got stationary and stuff, and so that's when I made my part 2 direct message, and where I was basically like, hey, yo, I'm not finna keep doing this back and forth like YouTube video. Basically, I think he was trying to say I'm trying to latch on to whatever clout. I'm trying to get clout off of him, so I'm like a symbiote. I don't fucking know. Gotta ask that. So when we so basically I land, I get stable, and so that's when I made the direct message part 2, and where I was like, hey, bro, we might as well go live. And so that's when, like, a week, not a week, some time goes by, and I wake up. Somebody had sent me this live. Eventually, you get annoyed with their pebble when you acknowledge the pebble thrower. You know what I'm saying? So you went live. So whether we're talking about CJ the Leftist or Benny Ray or whoever else, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. You throwing pebbles and you want for me to, what you want? Come on, come and get what you want, man. That shit did not end well for him. Come get what you want. It's all it be. It's all it be. Like, he did this to himself. That's the thing. Like that's the whole thing about, like, the whole live, and like you did this to yourself because you was on the ego trip, my nigga. So that's when, because this is like 8 in the morning. I had class at like 10 or 11, and so I'm like, yeah, I don't, I ain't even talking about them. I ain't gonna lie. I've known them since I was like 14, 15. No. Like, I know their leader. Like, I've trolled their leader before. Like, when I was like 15, I don't bring them up. I don't bring them up. No, like, those are black fascists. I have an old video talking about them, like, on TikTok from when I was like 15, 16. Nah, we don't do that. We don't do that Zaman shit. But yeah, so like that's when he dropped, like I said, he dropped that video, and so he dropped that portion of the video on Instagram. And so FD was in the comments and was like, yo, can we get a hold of CJ's elder so he doesn't move reactionary like this on the internet? I'm like, ho. I'm like, hold the fuck up. This started with me. Like, that's what I said. Like, that's what I said in a response comment. Like, bro, he started with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, actually, no. The reason why I made the initial video with Jasmine Crockett is because that nigga sneak dissed me on Twitter. Oh my God, he sneak dissed me. How can I forget about this? This is what I'm saying. I have a whole 2-hour video about this. No, he sneak dissed me on Twitter. And where he was like, all these leftists with no praxis, and all of this and all that. And I was like, yo, and then the reason why I knew he was sneak dissing is because Wayne had made the same exact thing. He said the same exact thing in his video. And so I was like, wait, he's talking about me. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna make a video. So like this whole thing starts with him. Like it starts with him. And so this is where I like this is where like I had responded to FD. I was like, hey yo, I respond to my DMs directly. Like I'm not some big shot who don't respond to my DMs on Instagram and stuff. I'm like, y'all can just call, y'all like not call, but like y'all can text me. You know what I'm saying? So like this is when FD texted me. He ended up texting me. We ended up talking on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I understand that you didn't know like what was going on. So like I gave him the whole rundown, you know what I'm saying? Because FD was like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like gotta know what's going on in order to speak on it. Like all due respect. And so after that, that's when, you know what I'm saying, we end up getting on a call. I ended up calling him. We didn't talk on the phone like 2-3 times. So like I ended up calling him, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, that's how we became, you know what I'm saying, cool. And then that's where you get the when he talked about on FD streams when we was talking. And I was like, yeah, I used to watch you in like high school because I was like, y'all got to realize I'm 2 years removed from high school. Like I graduated high school like 2 years ago. But was about to say, like me and him was on the phone, and I was just telling, he was like, yo, do you watch me or Woobati Bam? And I'm like, yeah, I used to in like high school, but like not no more, because like it's not even like out of like disrespect. It's just functionally your channel isn't what I'm seeking anymore. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. And we're, like I said, cool guy. But it's just like, again, my politics over here. Like this is the left side of my body. Politics over here. And we're like, yeah, like I'm just farther left. Just farther left. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. I think if we can be mature and have a conversation about, like, this is another thing, like motherfuckers be getting into these egos. I'm farther left than you. But like, bro, both, it be two MLs arguing about like who's farther left, and it's like I'm over here like post left. Yeah, let's get into it. Like, yeah, let's get into it. Post left, nigga. That's what I am. I'm post. I would be considered post left. Like I'm so like not even being like, again, not even getting into the ego of it all. Like I'm so far left, I'm off the grid at this point. Like that's how left I am. Like I wouldn't even, like, sometimes I'd be joking, but like I'd be dead ass. Like sometimes I don't consider myself a leftist. Like that's how like far left I am. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all this power scaling leftist shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like if we can just be for real, like FD isn't like left. Like when we're talking about how left niggas are, like I said respectfully, like FD isn't like over here. You know what I'm saying? Like the guys that I'm with are black anarchists, afropessimists. You know what I'm saying? And then like FD will be like farther to the like he will be to the right of me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of leftist creators that will be to the right of me, like politically. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it will be a lot of niggas that's to the right. So like, yeah. Like when it comes to like FD's like videos on like the manosphere, like I told him, like I was watching those, like, you know what I'm saying, I learned a lot about the manosphere, because like I already despise motherfuckers like Kevin Samuels and stuff. Like when I was in like high school, like I was 15, 16, 17, I used to see Kevin Samuels. I'm like, brother, he's just so misogynistic, he's so anti-black, he's just a patriarchal demon. That's what he was. So like yeah, like, but I didn't know about like it was a whole sphere of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, I knew about like Andrew Tate and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't watch it. I didn't consume Andrew Tate content. Who the fuck does that unironically? You must be a loser ass nigga if you're unironically consuming Andrew Tate content in the Big 2-6. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I more so know about the Tate brothers from like, you know what I'm saying, their trafficking. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's more so. And where it's like, okay, it's this whole sphere online of these motherfuckers. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole like it's like a chain, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Kevin Samuel's just the biggest one, but like you got Myron Gaines over here and you got so and so over here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like not, I'll say this, like not all anti-capitalists I would consider quote unquote leftists. Like anybody that's calling themselves an anti-cap, in order to actually get into why capitalism is bad, you have to realize capitalism is a foundationally anti-black system, and also you have to get into hierarchy. You have to interrogate the hierarchy that capitalism rests upon. If, to me, this is just me, if you don't do these things, you're not an anti-capitalist. There's no way you can be. There's no way you can be. You can't talk about capitalism without talking about the hierarchy that capitalism rests on, without talking about, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I do see utility in FD's platform, but like I said, like if I'm trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, recommend somebody, if, like, you know what I'm saying, if they want to get deep into the black radical tradition, you know what I'm saying, it's people that I know for that. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's people that I know for that. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers can't be like to do it all. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like if someone, you know what I'm saying, was to say I have a weak point here, yes, it's other creators that are for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not about to sit here and do this measuring contest of where it's like, yeah, I'm the top dog, nigga. Like, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. So yeah, like yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand like with the whole like yeah, Andrewism. That's another one of my guys. Andrewism is another one of my guys. It's another one of my guys. I'm trying not to curse as much. Trying not to curse as much. Yeah, so another one of my niggas. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, like, that's a, if deculturation shows the fuck up, I'm just playing. But yeah, that's another thing. Like leftist is a broad term, and where like a lot of people who are like social dems are considered leftists. But hold on, y'all, I'll be right back. He's waiting. Prince Shakur. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Prince. I've talked to Jordan. I don't think I've ever talked to Prince, but I've talked to Jordan. I talked to Jordan. But yeah, cause of mine, I'm not gonna lie. Amon don't be locking in. I've been sold Amon to get on YouTube. But Amon is another one of my guys. Like Amon Green, or the Anacarta Muslim. That's another that's another thing. Like I write too. Like I don't just like make videos or whatever. So like I write too. So I know a lot of people that like write, and we're like that content creation space. I would say that's where you're gonna find your like far left guys. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where you're gonna find those guys that are like far left. You know what I'm saying? They're on Substack. Yes, yes. I have a Substack. I have a Substack. Yes, and I drink matcha. Yes, I'm performative. Yes, yeah. But yeah, a lot of guys is on Substack. I'll say like, um, Yeah, the anarchist library has a lot of like historical stuff when it comes to anarchism too. How do I get into these circles? I mean, like, uh, so like, how do you get into those circles? I mean, right, good shit. I don't like. To me, it just happened. Like, it wasn't like a thing of where it's like initiation project process. It was like, oh, so and so reposted me, put me on so and so's radar. Um, and like, yeah, it just happened. Social circles, I'll say social circles undoubtedly do exist within the content creation space. I would be like, I would be lying to you if I said that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have certain creators only like are cool with certain creators. Like, yeah, yeah. Usually how this shit goes. Like certain, you know. Yeah, Twitter is sloppy. Twitter is sloppy. I don't like being on Twitter. Twitter is where discourse and nuance goes to die. It's the same thing with TikTok. Like when I was talking about China on TikTok, and like so many people like could not just put two and two together on how China is capitalist in a system of global world capitalism. Oh my god. Oh my god. China has export capital. China has a gross domestic product. Oh my, it's billionaires in China. But somehow, some fucking way, China is not capitalist. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. You bullshitting me. You bullshitting me. You bullshitting me. Whoever believes that is bullshitting me. China has every, because China is capitalist. Because China is capitalist. You know what I'm saying? Like, China is just capitalist. Bro, BGR, bro. BRG be frying me, bro. BRG be frying me. I can't lie. BRG be frying me. It's because niggas models, bro. Like, be frying me, bro. China is capitalist. Let's just start there. So when I'm like, okay, bro, this is why I also made the Substack post and the tweet. You can't be pro-China. You can't be pro-China and be saying free Sudan, free Congo, free this, free that, free the world. You can't be doing that shit because China's sending drones to the fucking UAE, bro. This is real. This is real, bro. This is real, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We exist in a net. Like, I think that's another thing about being an anarchist, like a black anarchist. I can start being real, bro. We all exist in a stream of global capital. We all exist in the ocean of it. You know what I'm saying? China, when I was talking about Congo, like China is when it comes to China dead ass like doing genocide, China does genocide. China does genocide. Yes. Yes. That is what imperialist states do. That is what colonial states do. This is like nothing new. Like, it's this other thing that like ML's doing where like imperialism and colonialism and all of these isms can only be relegated to the quote unquote West. No, we live in like there. This is why another reason why I dislike Stalin so much. Stalin like baked and deep fried people's understandings of socialism with that whole doctrine of one state socialism. It's no such thing as socialism in one state. It's no such thing as socialism in one state. It's no such thing as socialism in one state. It does not exist. It does not exist. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. MLs will say free Palestine and don't know that Stalin helped create Israel. That's another reason why I don't like James Ray. Just being purposely fucking dishonest. I don't like purposely dishonest motherfuckers. Help create it. China does settlements on Palestinian lands right now. Like, that's right. I go into that in anarchism or Marxism, Leninism. Like, China helps Israel settle Palestinian lands. Like, settle Palestinian land. Like, Chinese businesses operate within Israel. That is real. That is real. China sends drones to Israel. That is also another reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand like why we have to be dishonest. I think I've talked about this with like some of my comrades and stuff, but like once we get down to it and we actually have people needing to interrogate their own complicity in anti-blackness, that's another reason. Like, people don't want to acknowledge their complicity in anti-blackness. Like, that's my phone. That's my phone. I understand where my phone comes from. Do I enjoy that existence? No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have blind allegiance to Iran. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't say, like, I don't do this thing of primary contradictions. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this thing of where, well, the primary contradiction in Iran is actually imperialism. And if imperialism was to go, everybody in Iran will be happy. And it's fuck no. You still have Afro-Iranians who are treated as a permanent underclass within Iranian society. You have Iran being governed by a theocracy, in which this leads to the marginalization of women. Like, these are all real things. Like, patriarchy exists in Iran. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. This is how I don't understand how MLs are against patriarchy. But when they see Stalin criminalizing being gay, this is somehow acceptable. This is the same thing with Ibrahim Traore. It's the same thing with Ibrahim Traore. Like, when Traore criminal, in which I said it was going to happen. Like, I said it was going to happen, and everybody, well, it hasn't happened yet. Oh my God, I can finally add him to the stage. God, look,
bro, you said 3. Stop.
Oh my God, it's deculturation. It's live in the flesh. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah, te pasas, güey. Let's go.
I can't believe it. No.
Bro.
We can have these criticisms. We can, back to what I was saying though, we can host these criticisms while also being anti-West. I don't understand, it just really, you just have to recalibrate what you're struggling for at that point. That's the analysis that I came to. We have to recalibrate what we're struggling for. We're not just struggling for this specific thing at this point. Now we're also struggling for these multitudes of things. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. But where do we start? Do we start with Zohran Mamdani? Do we start
always, man? Yeah.
we can really start. No, we can actually start in 2016. We can start in 2016 with Bernie Sanders. I think that is where the DSACrats begin. That's what I call them, the DSACrats at this point. I believe it starts in like the Bernie style, quote unquote, socialism, because like at that point I was like 10, but even then I was still like into politics and stuff. So like I was like, oh no, this guy Bernie, he sounds cool. Okay, he wants to legalize marijuana. Like, he sounds very progressive for the time being, until he said fuck reparations for slavery, and I was like, whoa. Like, that's when it was like, whoa, he doesn't like want reparations for slavery. He doesn't, like, he's holding these very, very conservative, like blue dog Democrat conservative positions. And that's where I started to see the cracks in like Bernie Sanders, and where like the real reason why like Bernie failed amongst black people is because like within his constituency, he never addressed like the anti-blackness that he purported on his platform. Like, this is real. You know what I'm saying? He never like, he still doesn't. Like, I remember, like, I just was talking about when I went to DC and I was protesting at the Capitol. We went to Bernie's office. He wasn't there. But like, I had my cafe on. Wait, is my cafe hanging? No, I think my cafe is downstairs. I had my cafe on, and his staffers were genuinely laughing at me. Like, they took it as a joke. You know what I'm saying? It's this thing of where Bernie is a white man. You know what I'm saying? He's Jewish, but he's white. You know what I'm saying? He's from Vermont. You know what I'm saying? He can't be racist. He's from Vermont. He's from North. How can he be racist? But what was I about to say? No, like Bernie style socialism, and where like during 2020 you get AOC. And where like AOC, I think AOC is the first of the fold, correct me if I'm wrong, to come like specifically from a chapter of DSA and like get ran and then like come up to like this national notoriety to the extent. I don't know. Somebody correct me. Is AOC the first one? It's the first one I knew of.
Yeah. So with the DSA, it's a little complicated in the sense that they're very good at making it seem like they're actually creating homegrown candidates when it's not the case. You have other organizations that are involved with the Democratic Party that are basically grooming these characters.
Green Party.
And preparing them for for this like trajectory that they're on, where they're kind of the rebel rouser, right? With AOC, a lot of people believe the fact that, or the propaganda that she was this working class girl, that she was, you know, a bartender and this and that. In reality, she was doing an internship for one of the Kennedys. Like, you don't just do an internship for Kennedy unless you're already, preparing yourself for a life in politics. So it's not like, again, when you see this parallels with Grant Plattner, where he's like, he was just an oyster farmer. And it's like, no, like his grandfather was like a millionaire architect. His mother and his father were wealthy people in Maine. So you could see how there's always a narrative of working class origins that are pushed upon these people in order to make them more relatable. But in reality, they're just politicians like anyone else, the same, ambition and power
like
that
Zohran.
You see these regular Democrats. Yeah, Mamdani, exactly.
Isn't it Zohran's mama in the Epstein files? I think is that true?
So to be clear, she was referenced in them, but not like she was in, like she was.
Yeah, I know she wasn't a part of the trafficking, but she was.
Right.
I think they were at a party after after his conviction. I know that is a fact, but also I do want to touch on Zohran, like not coming from like humble beginnings. Like his dad is a professor, his mom is a millionaire. Like he's a nepo baby. You know what I'm saying? This is why he was able to do that fucking trash ass rap career. You know what I'm saying? That's where the money. That's
Dude,
where
white people love that.
Yeah, that was like they oh my god, he's so cool. Oh my god, Zohran, we have a rapper from bro. But like yeah, like when it comes to Zohran, hold on, I'm making the post on Twitter. But yeah, when it comes to like Zohran's like quote unquote humble beginnings, like he's a nepo baby, you know what I'm saying? When you look into this is why I loved reading Rodney. When you look into the class distinctions in especially Africa, and where Rodney's talking about the class distinctions in Uganda, that's where Zohran's family is from, right? Uganda. So when he's talking about these class distinctions, he's talking about how South Asians in the context of Ugandan society are hoisted on this privilege to reaffirm colonialism. This is where Zohran's family comes from. Like this is where they attain their wealth. They got their wealth off of the colonialism that was going on in Africa. Zohran's not above this shit. This is how they got rich. And so when Zohran now he's a nepo baby in the States and he's able to do all of these things, he does not come from humble beginnings. He does not come from this working class background. He actually comes from the bourgeoisie. Ooh. He comes from a specific type of bourgeois, and where yeah, like he's a bourgeois nepo baby. He's not and where like I don't understand how people don't think like the bourgeois has never read State and Revolution. Like this isn't something that's only a secret in your book club. Like this is the same government that did COINTELPRO. They know about all this shit. They know about it. They know about it like the back of their hand. Like we're not the only ones who study this. You know what I'm saying? So it's
No. I was listening to Two Black on Millennials Are Killing Capitalism this morning while I was doing groceries, and yeah, like the fact that he mentions that like the military is learning about how to conduct themselves in terms of nonviolent protests, and that from the civil rights era that he just quickly adapted to how to combat nonviolence, right? And you see that the beast, man, is always adapting, it's always learning, it's ahead of us, right? It's more educated on these topics than we are. So we really are playing catch up being here in the belly of the beast, where we have to assume that, of course, they have people already set up using this language, using the lingo, using all the phrases to make you feel safe, comfortable, and represented, right? But the moment that it really matters, they're always going to align with the Democratic Party every single time.
They're going to always align with like the state. They're always going to align with capitalism. They're always going to align with the settler colonial like foundation that they were, you know what I'm saying, given. This is how they're even able to run on this ticket. So that's what I'm saying. This is where we get into the conversation about like Cori Bush and like Wesley Bell and then Jamal Bowman. And then like, so like when we see this, this is before Zohran, we can get back to Zohran later, but I remember that happening. Yeah, this was 2 years ago. So Cori versus Wesley V1. And where I remember like I remember being here in St. Louis. Like I was here in St. Louis. I never left. But I remember looking on my TV and seeing like the anti-Cori Bush ads. You know what I'm saying? The slew of ads that came like a week or two before the election. And it was like everybody was asking the question, like, where is he getting this money from? And so this is when you see the construction of the villain that is AIPAC, you know what I'm saying, in the constituency of the Democratic Party. So there is an inner I'll say this, within the Democratic Party, there is this inner party polarization, and where you have Democrats who are not in line with AIPAC, but you have Democrats who are aligned with AIPAC. And where what the Democratic Party has learned to do, because people are so gullible, naive, and just all around complacent, what they have learned to do with you all is run non-AIPAC affiliated candidates. Oh my God. Oh my God. If this is the only thing that people are focusing on, the AIPAC tracker bullshit, all we have to do is just not run people on AIPAC. We just either use other PAC money, or we use like J Street. You know what I'm saying? Like Bernie and AOC and Zohran, they all have affiliations to J Street. We're just gonna use another Zionist PAC to get it over your head, because at the end of the day, the Democratic Party is just a Zionist institution. So so it's like with this new age of DSACrats, all they have to do is, we don't align with AIPAC. We don't take money from AIPAC. Look at my opponent who's taking money from AIPAC, because at the end of the day, the Democratic Party doesn't give a fuck who wins the election, just as long as they maintain the seat. And then when they get the seat, the Democratic constituency tells them what to do in said seat. This is why you see AOC voting on them bills for Israel. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those things of where it's like people misjudge and are misguided and misaligned, and this is the same thing that Conscious Lee and I were going back and forth when we had our little back and forth on live, on where he was like, Jasmine Crockett's not a Zionist. She doesn't take money from AIPAC. Your average Zionist walking the street doesn't take money from AIPAC, but they're still a fucking Zionist. You don't need to take money from AIPAC in order to be a Zionist. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, you could see when something's very clearly a psyop or a limited hangout with AIPAC tracker, and the way that they represent Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez or Bernie Sanders as, like, you know, these examples of what politicians should be, right? And in reality, it's like, no, that is the most insidious style, because, you know, AOC is, you know, connected with J Street. Bernie Sanders is connected with J Street. Bernie Sanders was the only time I seen Bernie smile was when he was talking about his time at a kibbutzim. And it's like, that's how fucking evil this guy is. And he did fool a lot of us. I think, damn, you were 10. I think I was like in college when Bernie first ran. And bro, like, even then I was like, the first time he ran, I literally thought to myself, if he wins, like, it's already a wrap for whatever true radical movement there could be, because he's gonna like make so many people complacent. And I didn't vote in that election. I felt guilty because I'm first generation. I'm a fucking anchor baby. I have direct family members my entire life that are undocumented, right? And so during the Trump administration, bro, I felt like a piece of shit, because, you know, when you're first generation, you grow up using that privilege to try and help your family members, right? The best that you can, both on this side and that side. And so, because it doesn't matter how old you are, if you can make it to the other side, you're taking fucking food, money, and supplies to the other side to make sure that your families on both sides are good. And so I grew up with that mindset. And bro, let me tell you, like, I've picked up family members from, you know, now that they have more of attention of the ICE detention centers, but back then they didn't really get the attention that they deserve, other than like AOC doing that disgusting Photoshop or photo shoot thing. That honestly kind of did work on me because of how desperate I was for my family. Right?
They take advantage of like the desperation that's generated by the violence that they commit.
100%. And in my mind, in that moment, I was like, if she pulls a stunt like that during the Biden administration, maybe some true, like, in that case, it would just be reform, right? Some reform could happen in the border that can, you know, keep my loved ones somewhat safer than they are today. That was literally my mindset. And I was also listening to a lot of In Class with Dr. Greg Carr at that time. So
you was listening to the Young Turks. I was listening to the Young Turks.
No.
I was already Turks in like 2016.
By that point, I was already kind of hating on a lot of those fools. I think Michael Brooks, the white savior saint, was the only one that I was still kind of really listening to, like in the sense of like I was influenced by him in some way. But the Young Turks, Majority Report, the Jimmy Dores, like all those guys I had already kind of distrusted because of when I was younger, I was really into like Stephen Colbert when he was still playing that character. And so he kind of taught me that all these people are playing a character. And with that in mind, yeah, I was listening to a lot of Dr. Greg Carr because he's so intelligent, and he also made me feel guilty about the fact that, like, Democrats may appoint more lenient, more liberal judges, and I got family members that are locked up.
Yep.
And that are not going to get out. If we're being fucking honest, and it sucks and it pains me to say it. And so that, again, taking advantage of that weakness of, I managed to get lucky. I'm very fortunate in my life to avoid a lot of to becoming a statistic in a lot of ways. But I have family members who have not. And yeah, they are in front of these judges. So what does it say about me if I'm not out there voting for a Democrat and trying to make sure that they have like the most lenient judge possible? Like, I fell for all that bullshit at the time, again, out of desperation. And I did vote for Joe Biden, right, that first time. And this motherfucker carries out this. Yeah, like, I don't need drops. I'll do it myself. This motherfucker starts a genocide. And I'm like, yeah, like, this is what I get. I felt guilty because my family members were being targeted. And then he's exterminating entire family members, entire family in Palestine. And so that taught me, like, never again, bro. Like, never again. When it comes to the people like Bernie Sanders, who's a national socialist in my book, he was praising Donald Trump's, actions in the border.
Yeah.
Before Renee Good, before Alex Peretti got taken down. The moment that white people get treated the way that we get treated, the moment they're murdered in broad daylight, the way black and brown people are murdered in broad daylight, suddenly Bernie has a fucking problem. But before that, he was praising Donald Trump and saying that fucking the deporter in chief, Obama, I have neighbors that were deported under the Obama administration that grew up their entire lives here in the States and were shipped out to El Salvador. That's a fucking, if that's not a death sentence, that's a life committed to crime. That's what it is. It's not like they have the opportunity to turn shit around. And especially considering the fact that, like, a lot of people, like, their Spanish isn't that great. Definitely not enough to, like, fit in a Spanish speaking country. And so little things like that really enraged me. But Bernie was over here downplaying what Obama did, downplaying what Biden did in the border, saying it wasn't enough, that Trump actually stepped up. And Biden was ready to pass a ridiculous border bill that, look, I joked about this with Dr. Jared Ball. Like, we have to have a competition about who has the biggest compradors, right? The black community or the brown community in Washington, because the Hispanic caucus, they weren't even allowed to have any input. They weren't even allowed in the meetings for Joe Biden's.
That's a debate. I will say that. That's a debate. It's a debate. I'm not gonna lie.
That's solid.
We can go. It's been going on since like the 60s, like the 60s.
Bad,
like, it's bad.
Yeah,
go ahead.
It's bad. Yeah, but they weren't even allowed in these meetings. That's how, like, right wing this bill was going to be. Imagine if it would have gotten passed, the power that Donald Trump would have had in the border, right? The only reason it didn't pass because Trump was like, no Republican can support this because I need this as a something to run on for my campaign. And so Lindsey Graham, who's a fucking legit Klan member, said to the Republican Party, we have to vote for this because even if we win the White House, we won't be able to pass something this good without granting a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. Right?
Yeah, all that pathway to citizenship shit, like, it's literally, I swear to God, that is top psyop. Like, that is top psyop. Whenever, like, they're talking about the Democrats are giving more pathways to citizenship, the whole notion of citizenship is just void. Like, citizenship, right. What does it mean to be a citizen? It's something that can be taken away. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're born here. Even if you're born here, it can be taken away. So it's one of those things of where, when I want people to realize, since we are having this conversation about radicalization in real time and how the state and how, like, settler colonialism, how they will take advantage of the desperation that is posed by the systems that necessitate, you know what I'm saying, its being. So when they say, okay, we're going to give you a pathway to citizenship, we're going to give you more lenient judges, you're still not doing anything to unseat the problem here, which is the fact that you even have to go in front of a judge in the first place. When you talk about ICE existing on indigenous reservations in the Southwest, at this point, this shit is not about immigration no more. Like, this is not about immigration. This is not about immigration. This is about relegating, and this is about relegating black and brown bodies like it has always been under settler colonialism for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? For different reasons, I'll say. But this is because the colonial apparatus needs systems like ICE to function. What was it before ICE? It was like Office of Naturalization and Services or something.
Yeah, NHS. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like when you see like the create, because ICE is like 2003. ICE is about like 3 years older than me, I believe. Yeah, ICE is about like 3 years older than me.
Bro,
so like when people are like,
what the fuck just happened? What is up with this?
Turn on mirror mode.
No,
but like when people are,
and see the whole mess.
Like when people are like, yeah, ICE. I knew what it was like before ICE, before TSA. I'm like, I don't know that. I don't know.
I don't remember like before TSA.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that.
Sorry, it was INS, not yeah, it was INS.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like Dems are gonna get very like the midterm. I'm not gonna lie, this has been the weakest midterms from the Dems. I thought they were coming out stronger. I thought like with 2 years of Trump and like what he's doing, I thought they would have been stronger. But it's like they kind of moved too far to the right with gruesome Newsom. Like they really can't do that anymore. They can't play. I seriously don't see them playing the game of, oh, so and so. Look at what Trump is doing, because what has happened at this point with like the Overton window shifting farther to the right is becoming more and more apparent that these motherfuckers are the same thing. You know what I'm saying? When you have Charlie Kirk on podcast with Gavin Newsom, when you have the constituencies appearing together, because like I remember when I was growing up, I used to genuinely believe that like Mitt Romney and Obama hated each other. Like that was a genuine belief that I had at 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? I genuinely believe these were rivals, in which at the end of the day they weren't. You know what I'm saying? They were servicing the same establishment, just two different factions of capital. You know what I'm saying? Going against each other. But I would say more so now that the line, I wouldn't say it's still hard, but it most definitely has been blurred between Democrat and Republican. It's a lot of flip-flopping now. You know what I'm saying? It's like the 40s and the 50s, you know what I'm saying, right before the party switch. It's a lot of flip-flopping. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene is to the left on some positions than fucking AOC. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the voting record. I'm not saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene is to the left now. Don't fucking clip me out of context. It's not what I'm saying. But when it comes to Marjorie Taylor Greene being able to play like this fiddle of and also manipulate and is also able to manipulate violence under settler colonialism and you see the cold pink shit. And when they went to the fucking Capitol and like they took the pictures with Marjorie Taylor Greene and was like, this is our anti-war candidate. No, this is why I didn't like doing the shit with Medea Benjamin anyway. But that's a whole different story. But it's
not a different story. It's not a different story, CJ. It's a constant reflection that the moment that white people do one thing that the so-called like liberal whites or the progressive whites or the rad-lib whites or the whatever the fuck the rebrand is,
we can work
the moment they give them one thing, they're like, I don't care how fucking racist you are. I don't care you're a white supremacist. I don't care that you're a Klan member. I don't care if you're a neo-Nazi, Grand Plattner. I'm going to fucking be on your side and defend you against the black and brown horde. Because they don't know what's good for them. We know how to bring change. It's exactly like a representation of white supremacy, bro. The moment that Medea Benjamin took a fucking photo with her, I was like, okay, bro.
Yeah, this is just white supremacy.
Confirmed. Yes, 100%.
This is just
white let's supremacy. Not downplay that shit. Yeah, let's not downplay it because that's what it is.
Yeah, it's just white supremacy, and where it's like, I used to despise that framing. Like I called that out in one of my classes before. I was in class. This is my freshman year of college. And it's my professor was like, yeah, what do y'all think about the debate last night? It was between Kamala and Trump. And I was like, shit. I'm like, I'm kind of tired of it. Like at this point, okay, no bullshit. I'm kind of like in my bubble. I was in my bubble that summer, you know what I'm saying, on TikTok, you know what I'm saying. I didn't know in public we could say things like Israel is committing a genocide. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I didn't know it was like quote unquote, like this was a no. I didn't know this. So I'm in class and I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't like, I don't like how they're framing it as like a war. You know what I'm saying? This is a war in Gaza. This is a war in Palestine. It's not a war. It's a fucking genocide. I was like, when you look at the proportions of power, when you look at the history, I'm saying this in class, mind you. So I'm like, when you're looking at all of these things, this isn't a war. So when Medea Benjamin did that with Cole Pink and Marjorie Taylor Greene, that was like, this is our anti-war candidate. It's kind of like, what are we talking about? Like, this isn't a war that's going on, and you more than anybody should know this. You more than anybody should know this. Let me turn on this. Yeah, because the side of my face was dark. But yeah, so it's like this isn't a war that is going on. So it's like when you're doing these misnomers with Marjorie Taylor Greene in an event of where you're like, okay, we can do photo ops with them, we can work within the system, we can work with the settler colonial governance to pass a bill. You cannot vote your way out of settler colonialism. You cannot make a new bill. You cannot craft a new law. You cannot reform this shit. Like that's honestly the thing that like most people need to understand. There is no like bill that can like genuinely be passed that will like seriously get rid of everything that we have. You know what I'm saying? This isn't when you're watching this stream right here, you're not getting the Hassan Piker answers. Okay, you're not getting the Hassan Piker takes. You're not getting that shit. We're not doing the whole let's just vote in Graham Plattner and I actually see utility in MAGA communism, and if we just do this and do that within the government, and we just get more socialist in the government, we can do. There's no such thing as socialist and capitalist governance. There's no such thing as a socialist mayor. There's no such thing as socialist presidents. The fuck are we talking about here? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is another thing, and where I think actually the roots of the DSACrats, if I'm talking about through history, is actually it's actually FDR. It's actually FDR. I think with the social safety net that FDR created with the New Deal, that has had a detrimental effect on like when we see the antagonisms between like the white working class and you will see you know what I'm saying, like indigenous people and like black working class, you will see this is like a splinter that kind of came into the left, and where you will genuinely have some quote unquote leftists who are like, hey, yeah, I like the New Deal, even though the New Deal didn't apply to black people. You know what I'm saying? It's this thing of where the American working class is not a collective fucking working class. It's not a collective. It's not a collective working class. You have two populations who are genocided, and then you have white people. You have the white working class who benefits off of this settlerism.
Yeah, I think that's one of the frustrations that I have is, and I'm open, for disagreement always, man. I mean, you already went after my homie Stalin, so no, I'm just kidding. But somebody accused me of being a Stalinist, and I'm like,
accused you of being a Stalinist. Of you?
Yeah. Because I just said that like Stalin's, his short book on foundations of Marxism, Leninism, or just I think just Leninism. I'm like, oh, it helped me because I'm not that bright, and Stalin kind of writes in a very simple, direct way, and that's all I said. And this person was like, "You're a Stalinist. You approve of all his actions." I was like, all right. I guess
we're not over here doing that, but yeah, I want to say this.
No, I'm kidding. But
no. I was gonna say this. Like when it does come to like, bro, I would be lying if I say I never read Lenin. Like if Lenin didn't help me get away from, you know what I'm saying, a certain level of understanding, yes, but I didn't stop there. I kept going. You know what I'm saying? I think that's another thing that people have an issue with like the DSA or whatever. They never like get out of that. They never get out of the PSL. They never get out of these understandings of, wait a minute, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? The PSL doesn't work because it's ran by a billionaire. I said this earlier. It's ran by a billionaire. You're not generating anti-capitalism by working with a billionaire. You're just not going to do it. And where organizations such as PSL are still around, because honestly, in my own estimation, they're still around because they don't pose an actual serious threat to the status quo. Like if the status quo genuinely was like, oh yeah, PSL got to get going, PSL would get going. You know what I'm saying? It would be, you will see like with the BPP and the BLA, you will see an open, protracted war being waged between the PSL and the American state. You don't fucking see that shit. Like the BPP declared war on the American state. You don't see fucking PSL and Adeline Pendleton. You don't see them waging war on America. No, that's not what's going on here. Organizations such as PSL are co-opters in my estimation too. They co-opt actual traditions of socialism and regurgitate you into this American settlerism shit.
No, I always say like I never go outside. I'm a good citizen. I stay indoors at all times.
Yeah,
But I have heard that when you go outside, like if you're at an event that PSL is leading or is a leading organizer in, and you try acting up, they're the first ones to kind of point the finger at you. Yep. So I mean that alone is 100%. Because you're a record
protecting
immediately.
ICE. They was protecting ICE vehicles in San Diego. They will snitch.
Yeah. Or even in Minnesota where that individual was burning a U.S. flag, and immediately they started chasing him, surrounding him, and calling him a Fed. And I'm like, we should be normalizing that shit. That should be a normal fucking activity. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What more do you need for you to finally abandon this patriotism that is nothing but allowing the beast to continue like thriving, right? I did want to mention like what you said about the New Deal. The frustration is like, and why I was going to say I'm open to debate about this. I do feel that the primary contradiction here is settler colonialism, and that capitalism is secondary only because without the colonization of this land, they weren't going to be able to impose capitalism in the way that it has, right? But I'm cool with it being 1A or 1B or whatever.
No, I don't like my. Okay, so like from my like I've said this in my videos before. The foundation, like the crux of America, of course, is settler colonialism. Like that is the variable that America will cling onto 24/7. But that variable of settler colonialism is foundationally anti-black. And when I say that it is foundationally anti-black, there was already a consensus. There was already a global there was already a slave trade going on before the British, you know what I'm saying, step foot. There was already a slave trade going on before 1776. And where there is this like I said, the crux of settler colonialism is anti-black. So when we're talking about settler colonial and capitalism, this is why capitalism is anti-black. You know what I'm saying? When we're talking about living in an anti-black world, where this gets into all type of shit that will probably make your head spin. But when we're talking about like settler colonialism, for example, it is the American state is a foundationally anti-black state. Like that is what it is. That is why you're going to see expressions of anti-blackness wherever America goes. That's why black people disproportionately make up the prison population. That's why the genocide that brought us over here, you know what I'm saying, there was already the Maafa was already going on. That's more so the word that I use for, you know what I'm saying, the genocide on Afro or like black peoples. So it's like I don't you know what I'm saying, I'm not about to sit here and say that like America is not settler colonialism. Like, no, like the only way that you get America is through settlers. Like, you know what I'm saying, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, like they're settlers who are also slave owners, in which when you look at this dynamic, Frank goes into this, when you look into this dynamic of contingent / gratuitous violence, is like the settler apparatus functions for the indigenous. Like the reason why it generates indigenous death or the deaths of indigenous people is to uphold and is to maintain this settler colonialism. But when you look at really blackness, when you look at like black peoples, there was already this system of death going on for us. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, and where it's like it's a distinction that I think needs to be made, and I think it's a healthy distinction, honestly, because it shows like what is actually being fought here, what's actually going on, what is going on, and where a lot of people are just lost on what's going on. But yeah, I'm not about to sit here and be like, I'm not about to power scale oppression and be like, well, this is more important and this is not important. It's like, no, this is what I'm observing. You know what I'm saying? Blackness undergoing gratuitous violence. And where it's like for example, slavery, you know what I'm saying, chattel slavery, for example, it is this like anti-blackness inhabits this space of where it's like everybody's able to participate in it. Everybody is, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to other systems of oppression. It's more so when it comes to just systems of oppression in general, it's more so, I wrote about this in the essay, it's more so about like, especially when talking about white supremacy, it's about proportions of power and who's given that proportion of power. You You know what I'm saying? What specific group of people is given proportions of power under white supremacy, especially talking about like settlerism in America, because there are indigenous people who are complacent with settlerism. There are black, we just talked about it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like these are people who are complacent, and where when we look at the system, when we take it out and zoom out of the system, they're not the actual ones generating it, in which this is a white supremacy system. So it's like white supremacy, to me, in my estimation, just in my analysis, is already resting on this foundation of anti-blackness, and where this deviation that comes out of this already anti-black world is white supremacy, and where you see the deviation between white, non-black, and black, and where before that it was really just before whiteness was even a construction, you see a construction of blackness. I talk about that in my video, Intro to the Black Radical Tradition. Intro, it's like Afro-pessimist edition, if I'm not mistaken. Like I talk about the foundations of blackness, the conceptualizations of what does it mean to be black. You know what I'm saying? How is blackness basically, how is it framed, how is it managed, and how is it dictated within our society? And where it's like blackness, when you're talking about anti-blackness, that, like I said, that's a whole nother story. But when we're talking about anti-blackness, you're more so talking about negrophobia as well. You're talking about those types of concepts, and where, like I said, it is a specific point of participation that everybody, including like black people, are able to have within anti-black systems. Like when we talk about black slave owners, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll hear conservatives be like, well, those are black slave owners too, so it couldn't be white supremacists. No. The most slave owners, when we're talking about proportions of power and who are able to actually own, chain, and maul black bodies, are white people. You know what I'm saying? White slave owners. Like that is what's going on here. I wouldn't sit here and be like the black slave owners' participation is the reason why, you know what I'm saying, there is this overhaul, there is this trafficking of humans from Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's like anti-blackness versus racism is another conversation that is also had as well, and where it's like I talked about this in my video, black children / black kids aren't safe and never have been. When you're talking about anti-blackness versus racism and white supremacy, in order for a racist apparatus, or in order for a white supremacist apparatus to continuously maintain and reproduce itself, there needs to be systemic reproduction of these systems. There needs to be things like ICE. There needs to be things like the police. There needs to be these things. When we're talking about anti-blackness really doesn't need a constant state or system of reproduction in order for it to function, in my analysis, and the analysis that I've come to. And whereas like the violence that blackness receives isn't because black, you know what I'm saying, blackness has transgressed like a worker will transgress against a boss, or like a settler with the indigenous, or, you know what I'm saying, like I said, if we want decal 101, if you want any type of like genuine analysis on settler colonialism and like the foundations for it, read this. I wouldn't sit here and say that within Wretched of the Earth, Fanon is really given a rigorous analysis on like to the extent of like Warren is in Ontological Terror on anti-blackness. Like I'm not about to sit here and say that. And where like Franz Fanon, yes, is tied to black liberation, but in the context of Wretched of the Earth is a text that is talking about national liberation, is about the indigenous or the colonized finding their identity, you know what I'm saying, after a decolonial revolution. And where in this antagonisms of decal, you will still see anti-blackness. You know what I'm saying? Anti-blackness will still reappear. Like I get into arguments about this with like socialists all the time, about where they're like, if you get rid of capitalism, anti-blackness will go away as well. Like, no, it's already anti-blackness when capitalism was there. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same thing with like patriarchy. Like people genuinely believe if you get rid of capitalism, patriarchy will go. No. There are certain things within this world that go beyond the material. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm trying not to say too much, because I'm constructing videos around those concepts like as we speak. So yeah.
No, I mean, I used to worry about that as well too, but I think for the most part, like these just flowing moments of just your thoughts are not going to be generally speaking, as informative as a actual constructed, like written out a piece of work.
Yeah,
So
it's not.
something that I learned to stop like hiding my. It almost feels like you're hiding your hand. You know, you're playing poker or
Mhm.
something like that. And you're trying to hide your hand. I think that if anything, it'll just help you really. Once you start talking, just flowing, it really all aids you in the writing process. I think, but everybody's different. I did want to like jump in on that and say that it was funny. I had this kind of apolitical, I guess, liberal friend who just got a national park pass, and I
Mhm.
guess the new ones have Donald Trump on them, and it made me laugh because they kind of blocked it out, right?
Mhm.
But what they didn't block out was George Washington, and of
Mhm.
course, because I love to antagonize people. I was like, objectively speaking, George Washington is a worse human being than Donald Trump can even be,
Yeah.
right?
Like when we
And
look at the
so,
record. Yeah.
yeah. So again, always reminding people like don't get distracted about what the current boogeyman is. The whole system since its birth, since Jamestown, has been corrupt, has been a force of evil, right? Of destruction, of genocide, of ethnic cleansing, of sex trafficking, children.
Like
That's always
Epstein.
been the case. Like Epstein, Pocahontas was a child,
Yeah.
right? And so
Sally
like just
Hemings
things like
was a
that.
child.
Countless indigenous and black people have experienced that aspect of white supremacy that is so normalized. When you mentioned about like anti-blackness and settler colonialism, it's funny because a lot of people say that like the Europeans learned how to really ethnically cleanse and racialize people through like pogroms and distinguishing themselves from Jewish people, and then later on the Irish, actual physical settler colonialism on foreign land and things like that. But I will say, like, um, when you look at the way that the Catholic Church treated and reacted to indigenous people in the so-called Americas, it was a direct reflection and almost at moments contrast to how they were interacting with Africans,
Hold
right?
on. I gotta go get my Catholic Bible. I'll be back.
All right, this is why I knew I like CJ because we're both good old Catholic kids, you know. Uh, so,
I had to get my Catholic Bible, you all.
what,
I grew up Catholic. I'm so serious. I grew up
did you?
Catholic.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, shit. All right,
Yes.
there you go. You got that guilt with you forever.
No, I was actually talking about this with one of my mentors. So I grew up like Black Catholic. Like this is real. Like this is real.
Wow.
And it was in my house. There are no depictions of like white Jesus at all.
Mm.
Like it's no depictions. Like my mom never was into like white Jesus or like showing us depictions of white Jesus. Like this is like it's right here. I think I've showed this before, but like this is in my room. Like this is not
Mm.
white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? We were
Yeah,
always
yeah,
brought
yeah.
up with images of Black
Wow.
Jesus to the point where I actually genuinely believe Jesus was black. But yeah, it's also one of these things of where it's like when we're talking about religion, I think me growing up in a household where there was no white Jesus affected my psyche, and where it's like I was taught not to associate like whiteness with like intrinsic godliness or like white people as being intrinsically like I think those send messages through the subconscious when you do raise a child in a household where Jesus is white. Now when we went to church, of course Jesus was white, even though we went to church in what many would dub the quote unquote hood. My church is closed now, but was about to say this is why I hate the Pope. You know what I'm saying? The Pope closed. I'm so serious. Like this happened like 3 years ago. Like you can look it up and all that. Like the Pope literally closed all of the Catholic churches on the north side of St. Louis, in which all of the churches on the north side are black. So like they're like all of them either had to consolidate or close for good. Um. So
And that's
yeah.
kind of a weird position to be in, right? In terms of like, hopefully, this means that the community isn't being like misled or numb to this reality
Mhm.
through religion, but at the same time, very clearly, a racist ass fucking mandate or whatever the fuck they call the Pope's orders. Um,
Mhm.
that is a weird kind of place to be in, definitely. But
Yeah, that's a like that
uh,
was a weird place because it was like, yeah. we all know how we were introduced to, you know what I'm saying, this religion, like duh. But at the same point, it's like the Pope isn't closing his church because he's trying to upend, you know what I'm saying, the colonization, the internal colonization that Black people experience. Like, no, he just doesn't. The church just doesn't want Black membership. You know what I'm saying? And whereas, like, you know what I'm saying, that's why I got away from it. But that's another thing. So it's like, yeah, it's like the church as an institution is one that is anti-indigenous and anti-Black, like at the same time. Like, I think it was Bartholomew de las Casas. He was like he was a Spanish monk who basically came out and was like, yeah, indigenous people are human and they're people and this and that, and where like they're deserving of rights, and where it's like, okay, we need to go get Africans now. You know what I'm saying? That's who did, like, he's one of the main reasons why the like slave trade kicked up to the point that it did, is because like they were like, okay, we're gonna recognize this political community, because this political community or this community of people is already not even seen as people.
Yeah, that's where I was going down in regards to like that kind of, to this day, this contrast between indigenous people, who broadly speaking we're just going to call brown, and Black people, right? You see that contrast of always brown people being somewhat still in a racist way, but favored by whiteness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which has always encouraged our constant pursuit and proximity to whiteness and our constant betrayal of the Black community. So, and whether we're talking about organizing or even fucking prison, it's present,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, with that in
Yeah,
mind,
that's
like, yeah, 100%. Sorry.
yeah. No. I was saying that's something that Frank like analyzes in Intro to Afropessimism. You know what I'm saying? The distinction between the condition of blackness and indigeneity, and where like this goes into the Dred Scott decision, and where I'll just paraphrase it. But basically, Taney just hands down the decree and is like, yeah, the reason why we view indigenous people have this political community, the African doesn't. You know what I'm saying? They do have these communities, and is where we're going to try to assimilate them into whiteness, and where we don't want you. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're telling the African subject. Like, we don't want you. We don't want to assimilate you. Your only purpose in this is again into like slavery and social death. Your only purpose in this world, from our estimation and from the estimation of everybody else as well in this collective unconscious, is your only purpose of existence is to be a slave.
Mhm.
That is what was told to Dred Scott. That is the social relation that is formed around blackness, which is one of social death, and where your only purpose in this world is for extraction. It's not even for labor. Like slavery, that's another way. That's another thing that I have a gripe with Marxists about, is they're like, oh yeah, slaves were unpaid workers. What the fuck are you talking about?
I
Like,
hate
that's
that.
not, slaves aren't workers. Like, they're not workers. Ontologically, they're not ontology, like when we're talking about ontology, they're not workers. And we're just talking about history. Workers have fucking unions. There's no such thing as a slave union. You have slave rebellions. You have slaves organizing rebellions. You don't have a fucking slave union. You don't have HR. Like, what the fuck? Like, there was no HR on the plantation. There was no human resources, because they're not seen as human. You know what I'm saying? There is no HR. There is no board that you can go to and be like, well, our master mistreated us. Now, yes, do you have certain laws that made it illegal to like beat the shit out of your slave? Yes, you have certain laws, but did they still do it? Yes. And who's going to hold them accountable? Who's going to send the slave master to
And
jail?
why were those laws implemented? In
Yeah.
order to force people to protect their property.
Yeah, to
Right. It wasn't
make sure they actually do this for labor, in which, like, you know what I'm saying,
exactly.
to extrapolate labor. And whereas, like, when you look into enslavement, is not even a very like productive. That's why it ended. You know what I'm saying? That's why the agrarian, you know what I'm saying? That's why agrarian capitalism was phased away from more industrialized, urbanized capital. It's because when you just analyze the system of enslavement and you like really study what was going on, it really is, it's more blackness it inhabits the condition of objectification. So it's an object. It's even going into what Russia just did with the Malayan army in Africa, and where I'm being so for real, they mutilated and mauled they killed these guys. This is in Mali, so this is in Africa. They killed these guys and they mauled their flesh to resemble a swastika.
Yeah.
I'm so serious. This is what happened in Africa. You know what I'm saying? And where this is the thing when it comes to anti-blackness. You know what I'm saying? This violence is nonsensical. It's you're an object. You're like clay. We can mold you into whatever we want you to. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, when we're getting to slavery, when we're getting into how slaves are treated, disabling like physically disabling the slave, physically like the slave psyche being put in this position of subservience, and where like beating your slave is not going to make them work better. You know what I'm saying? These lashings then getting infected. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the conditions of the slave ship, you know what I'm saying? People having wounds that get infected, and then mice are gnawing. Rats and mice are gnawing at it. You know what I'm saying? Or you have maggots growing inside the wounds. Like a slave, like it wasn't like this. What I'm saying, like it wasn't this thing of where like most people just think, oh yeah, they were just put on a ship and it was like a cruise ship almost, but just a little bit worse. You know what I'm saying? No, they were packed together like sardines. Is a lot of disease, a lot of narratives from enslaved people talk about, yeah, the person next to me died. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know until we got off. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're smelling these things. Bell Hooks talks about this in her book. It's not Ain't I a Woman. No, it's not Ain't I a Woman. I forgot which book this is. But it's one of Bell Hooks' books. And where Bell Hooks talks about, I'm gonna look it up while I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
Bell Hooks talks about Black women giving birth on the ship. You know what I'm saying? It's raining, it's storming. You know what I'm saying? Black women are being beaten while they're forced to give birth. And so it's like all of these things that people don't even think about. You know what I'm saying? Menstrual cycles happening and people throwing. Like I remember, I think it was Ain't I a Woman. I believe, yeah, that is the book. I'm tripping. But it's like people don't even like think about these certain things. I remember the first time I talk about this in like some interviews that I have that are online. But when it comes to like my first time learning about learning about the transatlantic slave trade, I remember it was a history exhibit at the St. Louis History Museum, and I was with my mom. And I was talking to her. I was like, wait, so what happened if they had to use the bathroom? They did it right there. And I'm like visualizing all of these things. They did it right there. Well, what if, you know what I'm saying, you got sick? You got sick on the ship and you probably just died. You know what I'm saying? From dysentery, from scurvy. I was like, so what happens if they did die on the ship and they found out, oh, you got thrown overboard? You know what I'm saying? You got thrown overboard, and where like it will actually sound crazy, but like shark patterns today still follow those ship patterns. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is another thing about like anti-blackness. Like anti-blackness has this effect on the environment, and where like it literally transcends like just material like suffering. You know what I'm saying? It transcends like material suffering, and where like the effect that anti-blackness has on the environment, where it's like, yeah, changing shark patterns. Also, when you just analyze the transatlantic slave trade, like I said, people giving birth on the ship, the sexual violence that was commonplace on the slave ship, the abuses of kids. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will say, in which I agree, like the oppression of Black children is the nexus of like anti-blackness, something to that measure, of where it's like, yeah, the denigration of the Black child is another thing that is very, very under talked about. And this is somebody who is considered a child, and by many still considered a child, even though I'm 20 years old.
You tell him, CJ. You tell him.
Yeah, like I don't understand why people still. I'm 20. I'm grown. I'm a grown man. Like I'm a grown man. I'm not a kid. I'm in college. I'm a junior in college.
I think it's mainly because I can speak for myself here, but I think broadly speaking, you're so much more advanced in your understanding of the world that when people think of themselves when they were 20, bro, I was barely having these conversations, but I was mainly smoking, getting high, and that, you know, like I wasn't. I'm not saying, you know, yeah. So, but that was mainly what I was focused on, not this. You know, I definitely wasn't organizing to this extent. But what I do want to add on, at least definitely for the, you know, because I reposted that photo of Mali and what the Russians did, and it's like it's 2026, and the massacring of black people is still occurring, and it's still being done with Nazi imagery and symbolism, right? And it's like you have Grand Plattners who have an SS Totenkopf tattoo on his chest. You have people like George Bad Empanada who are trying to popularize Zog.
You say his name. You said his name. Oh my God, you said his name. I'm just playing.
The name that he published and he put out himself, yeah. But you have these individuals claiming to be, opposition or claiming to, somehow have this grand contrast amongst them, normalizing neo-Nazi rhetoric and propaganda, right? Mm-hmm. While we're literally having the massacre of black people and their bodies mutilated to configure a Nazi symbol. And they want to act like this is something that you could dismiss, downplay, or laugh off. Like if it's not a big deal, only because it's not threatening your fucking life. That's the only reason you can laugh it off. That's the only reason you can normalize it. But in 2026, literally, dismembered body turned into a swastika in 2026.
It's because like motherfuckers like Bad Empanada, like I wouldn't be surprised if he actually descended from one of the Germans that was in the, like, you know what I'm saying, in the SS. I'm so serious because it's like you live in like you live in Argentina, like it. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. You can't make this up. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like it's literally like with the recreate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When we can even get into like that, like the whole you know what I'm saying, the usage of fascist verbiage, like the normalization of that, and where it's like we don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to try to. It's kind of the same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene and
no, it's literally the same thing.
We don't need to build bridges with the fucking far right. Yep. We don't need the far right. We don't need the far right. We don't need the far right to organize. We don't need to radicalize the far right. We don't need to engage with the far right.
No, CJ, they do. The white left does need that. We don't.
Yeah,
the white left, that's the thing. They rather work with fucking neo-Nazis. They rather normalize neo-Nazi fucking propaganda than be around black and brown people.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is, bro.
He's a set, like I believe, like I call him settler leftist, but it's because of this, of the logics of settlerism that like have not been let go by, like, you know what I'm saying, the Bad Empanadas of the world, and where it's like it's believed that like for the white left, yes, we need to radicalize these people into our specific settler movement, because the white left is just a settler movement. Asada Shakur talks about this. Daruba Ben Wahad talks about this. A lot of the people within the BLA talk about and discuss why they stopped fucking with the white left. You know what I'm saying? And where it's like the main reason why they stopped messing with the white left is because of and a lot of I'll see this with a lot of like quote unquote third worlders. It is the analysis about the fourth world. It is the non-analysis of the internally colonized people, which would be black and indigenous people. And it is this distaste that people have, and where it's like people are like, oh yeah, so and so black, all black people in America are settlers. It's like, how the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if we being for real, do I care if you call Obama a settler? No. You know what I'm saying? No. And it's like Obama's not even African American. Kamala Harris isn't either, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Kamala Harris
is this CJ's FBA turn? Everybody?
No. Tariq Nasheed. This is what I'm saying. No, oh my God, you taking me back. You taking me back.
I'm sorry. You're like, those are real Americans,
brother. I was like 13.
Brother, those are real Americans.
I was like 13. Okay, I can. Okay, if this is a safe space, you know what I'm saying, I can talk about like my radicalization journey and shit. Like, yes, did I have the Dr. Umar Tariq Nasheed phase, and then they started beefing. Like
they're Tariq effective, Nasheed, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're effective in especially since I am a black cis man. Like they're effective in galvanizing that crowd. You know what I'm saying, and speaking to that crowd of like, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so like when it comes to like Barack Obama, and when it comes to like Kamala Harris, when it comes to these people, it's like they're not even African American. You know what I'm saying? They don't even like when it comes to like Kamala Harris's family history, that comes from like Jamaica, in which the Jamaica is still affected by the transatlantic slave trade. Like her dad is a descendant of that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Barack Obama, he's just Kenyan. You know what I'm saying? He's Kenyan with a white mom. That just is what it is. And that's a large reason why, another reason why like Obama was able to be palatable to a lot of white people. He was raised by a fucking white woman. He was raised by white people. You know what I'm saying? He really wasn't raised amongst his, you know what I'm saying, in Africa. You know what I'm saying? And where it's like he has a brother named Malik who supports Trump. It's real.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna go the other way of, or not the other way, but add to it the fact that
Hidden Figures.
white Americans. No, wait.
Wait. Somebody said CJ was watching Hidden Colors. Hold up, I think, bro. Hold on.
Next to his Catholic Bible is Hidden Color.
This is I'm not gonna lie. This is canon. This is canon for a lot of niggas in the hood. I'm sorry. Like this is canon. I'm sorry. Okay, yes. CJ has watched all of them. All of them.
But why does it have an autograph, CJ?
Oh my god. Yeah, like this is the one. This is like the original one with like Dr. Umar. This is the one. Hidden Colors. Yeah. Like all of this. Like, do I pop this on? Like, I'll probably pop this on for like entertainment. Like, I'll probably be like, oh my god, this is funny. But like, do I seriously watch this and be like, oh yeah, they spitting that real? No. But it's like when we're talking about the black radical, this is another discussion that goes into the black radical tradition, and where you do have like this canon of black radicalism that results in shit like this. It results in shit like this. You know what I'm saying? You do have that canon of black radicalism, like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. You know what I'm saying? Booker Coleman, you know what I'm saying? These hoteps, you know what I'm saying? Hoteps, pretendians, and what else? They're not advocating for Black Hebrew Israelitism in here.
They're Aboriginal Americans.
Oh my god. But yeah, so it's like, I went through that phase, like the Hidden Colors phase, like when I was a kid, I'll say. Like I was a kid. But yeah, that's canon.
I was watching Polite and all those who's debate.
Yeah, Brother Polite. I saw Brother. Yeah. Oh my god. I was in LA and I saw Brother Polite in Beverly Hills, and I was like,
bro, you don't have to call him brother.
This is like 2021.
This guy's locked up for being a predator. You don't have to give him the title anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh my god, yeah, like in Hidden, like somebody just said this in Hidden Colors when somebody was like, when like they talk about like, oh yeah, do you see the high cheekbones on this?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're doing all of the photo comparisons, like, oh yeah, we were the Olmecs, and it's like, I'm watching this show, I'm like, this doesn't make sense, but hey, if this is how I'm renegotiating my identity as a black person, like that's pretty much what happens. Black people, when it comes to like, I have a reasoning why like the Black Hebrew Israelites, like however funny they are, however problematic they are, all of these groups exist because of colonialism. Tariq Nasheed, the FBAs exist because of colonialism. Like, this is why colonialism is bad, because you have people who want to you are left with people who are trying to find their identity, especially since a large portion of our identity had to get renegotiated once we came to the settler colony known as America. So what you have with this renegotiation is you have your section of people like me now in 2026 who are like, no, we don't fuck with the, you know what I'm saying, we don't fuck with the American identity, you know what I'm saying. You have your section of us who are like this, you know what I'm saying, like Brother Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying. You have our section, nah, we not fucking with that, you know what I'm saying. You have your New Africans, you know what I'm saying, I'm a New African. You have your section of those, and where also you have your out of necessity, out of quote unquote survival, a lot of will say is, let's actually align ourselves with the colonial identity. Let's align ourselves with the colonial apparatus, because okay, we've seen such and such be able to get some sort of leeway with under this settler colonial regime, and that's where you get the fucking FBAs. I think my video on FBAs is actually going viral for like the 5th time on TikTok right now. Like, yes, guys, I don't like FBAs. I don't like Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed, to me, is actually an FBI agent. Like, seriously, I believe he's actually
without question. Without
it's so obvious. It's so
and obvious. I hate Fed jacketing, but that one is like
I don't like Fed jacketing. I don't like it at all. But at this point, with what he is doing, and how sinister he does it, oh yeah, we're not.
Remember, he came out in Moore's documentary, right? It was what documentary? It's not Bullying for Columbine.
I think he said it with his own mouth too. Like, yeah, I'm on payroll. I think he said he was not joking. Like, he was not joking. Like, I think he was like, I have a.
He does not talk about money
on Twitter.
Yeah,
I have it. Yeah. He's just a capitalist. Like, he has a Have you ever heard his Have you ever heard K-Flex? Have you ever heard his rapper era?
No.
Have you ever heard What Up Cuz? You never heard?
Wait.
You've never heard G-Funk
versus Mamdani. What was Mamdani's moniker? What was his? I forget Mamdani's.
What is Mamdani's
rap battle? Who wins, bro?
Who wins a rap battle? Hold up. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for this. But y'all never heard about the Tariq G-Funk era? Hold up.
Oh,
like he was a rapping G-Funk Crip back in the day. This is what he was, and then he became a pimp, and then he became like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. This is Turk Machine. I know some unks who bumping that.
I was about to say this. I got some older coworkers that will be writing up to the.
I know some. If he would have just probably stayed with this, hey, he probably would have been all right. But it's with this FBA. So yeah, like with the FBA, that's the ADOS. Like that's also the ADOS. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So Mamdani's name was Young Cardamom.
Yeah. That was like.
But who wins?
I'm not gonna lie. Who's winning in a rap battle between them two? I can probably get K Flex off to more people. Right. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I can probably get him like over on more people. But yeah,
Flex is a moniker for pimping. Yeah, all right.
So yeah, because I don't know which one came first, the rapping or because he had a book, he had a whole book about it. You know what I'm saying? He came out with that book, and then that's when he basically during like the 2000s into the 2010s, that's when he started doing that's when he started rearing off into hotepetry. And then after that, because like Tariq Nasheed in this is completely distinct from Tariq Nasheed now. It's a completely different Tariq Nasheed. Like he's a grifter.
It's a character. So
like in this, he talks about how a black man founded Chicago. You know what I'm saying? In which that's actually a fact. Like that's the thing. Like they will actually spit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They will actually spit factual information in which a black man did found Chicago, but then they will go off into how black people are actually indigenous to America, which is not indigenous.
Yeah,
we're not foundational black Americans. No,
that's Americans. Because you haven't opened your third eye yet, and it's your own anti-blackness stopping you from understanding the truth, CJ.
I would not be. Somebody just said, and still is. I would not be surprised if he's still a sex trafficker. I would not be surprised if he's still a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Like I would not be surprised. You know what I'm saying?
Not to downplay it, but I do wonder, like, if there's like Epstein connections there, because that's essentially what he was, a pimp, a sex trafficker. You know?
Yeah. Like I mean,
did he play that role? Yeah, did he play that role in like the black celebrity community? So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like it's the same with Jay-Z. Like, oh my God, I cannot wait for like Jay-Z to finally like the fall of Jay-Z. I am praying that the fall of Jay-Z happens in my lifetime. I pray it happens. I think
it'll be a Bill Cosby thing where it's like towards the end. Like
towards the end. Because it's like it's no way. It's people who genuinely believe like Jay-Z is just innocent and he's a fucking billionaire. All billionaires partake in this stuff because this is what comes with. This is like the fine print of signing on to being a billionaire. Even LeBron James. We even have to get into LeBron James's exploitative and weird antics when it comes to like LeBron being like, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Why were you at these parties?
Hey, Hassan Piker was at a Diddy party.
He was
at a Diddy party, and he said that there was a recording of a young girl that quote unquote was supposed to be hot, according to him. Yeah, bro.
These are the social securities that y'all be watching. These are y'all boys. These are y'all men. And I don't watch Hassan. I don't say Hassan is this and that. In which it doesn't. Because I didn't know. I'm being so for real. I didn't know that Hassan was like. I didn't know Hassan was like he had a career on Twitch before this newer grift. Like I was like I'm like wait. He's cool with TSM Myth. I'm like, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was cool with because like growing up, I was in middle school. Yes, I used to watch Fortnite. Yes, I was a Fortnite kid. Yes, I played Fortnite. I was playing Fortnite. So like I was so of course I know who TSM Myth is. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know who that is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, like when I saw him and Hassan, I was like, wait, so Hassan actually had like a career before the newest grift. And then so yeah, like Hassan being at a Diddy party does not lose me. And where it's like, yeah, like I can make a whole analysis on what like the Diddy party represents. Like the Diddy party, yeah, it's an event, but it as a concept is like it is the party that the black bourgeois partakes in white supremacy. Like that is the Diddy party. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
mimicry. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Diddy party is a tactic of assimilation. You know what I'm saying? That's why
we
like
could do this too.
Huh?
We could do this too. We can get away with this. We could exploit our own community and
Yeah.
the most innocent amongst them, the children. 100%.
Yeah, so it's like that is like it's like Diddy Epstein connections, Diddy to Trump connections in the 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're seeing these things and where it's like, yeah, I think that's what we are also seeing in now going into the 2030s. I can't believe I'm saying that, but going into the 2030s, we're seeing the basically like the death of the celebrity in a way. And where like I see this from more like people on the street, and where more people are like willing to question the celebrity, and where you do have your stance. Yes, you will always have your stance for celebrities, but like the way that I'm able to pass on, yeah, this certain celebrity is not good. You know what I'm saying? We should want to pull like our support for this celebrity. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing that with way more like now than I did in the past, and where it's like people still have this attachment to celebrity, sadly, when it comes to Jay-Z, Beyonce. I think the conversation about Jay-Z and Beyonce open it up because more people are seeing like Jay-Z and Beyonce just being sellout after sellout with the NFL. Like I think honestly that's like that's what it is. And where it's like when I called I know if I was to say this like during the time of it, it would have caused like a rift, but I said it in my video, The Ultimate Issue with Black Excellence. I said what Kendrick Lamar did was a form of modern minstrelsy. You know what I'm saying? With the what's that the Super Bowl performance, and where like you'll see like the Super Bowl performance being protracted, and like people are being like, oh my god, it's kind of like with the Bad Bunny shit. It's the Bad Bunny shit. You made a video about it. You made a video about the Bad Bunny shit. It's the same thing with Kendrick. And where it's like they purposefully use, like, I'll say Kendrick was a very politicized artist growing up, you know what I'm saying, with you know what I'm saying, To Pimp a Butterfly. I grew up, he became the anthem of BLM, you know what I'm saying, during the 2010s with All Right. Yeah, that was a song that like was everywhere. So with like Kendrick, what we're seeing is like people not being able to realize this is not the same Kendrick Lamar that you knew in 2012, in 2013. This is not the same Kendrick Lamar. He says it on GNX. He's like, that's why like GNX is not a good album to me. But
come on, bro. What do you mean?
But it fell. I'm not gonna lie, it fell out my rotation fairly quickly.
It's banger after banger, bro.
It's a good. I think it's just because we're from two different coasts. I'm not from the East Coast, but I think.
You're right, 100%. Yeah.
Like I said, I think he made GNX to be like the West Coast rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, so you know what I'm saying? I like West Coast rap. Like I like Draco the Ruler. Like I like Draco the Ruler. Like I'm not gonna lie, LA rap be frying me. Like the names, like Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Don't even get me started with Chicano rappers. Yeah.
Like I forgot. Hold up. So yeah, like I was raised on like more so like Midwest rap, I'll say, like Midwest, East Coast, like, you know what I'm saying, of course it's West Coast sprinkled in there, but like if we're talking like my favorite rappers of all time, we talking about like AZ, like that new AZ album, like Do or Die 3. It's the best album of the year. That's album of the year right there. That's album of the year. That's album of the year. AZ, nobody is seeing AZ in a rap battle. Nobody's seeing AZ.
I mean, okay, I'll look it up. I'll listen to it and I'll let you know. Because so I never considered Kendrick a political artist to that degree. I think it was all very it was there, but very much like for bait almost. Right? Yeah. And so I think he was very malleable. His art was very malleable to that, because I didn't get the hype of To Pimp a Butterfly, and maybe that was because of a cultural thing. But then I compare something to that album to Joey Badass, All American Badass.
Oh yeah, All American Badass. Oh my God, you took the words out of my mouth. That is what people think T-Pab is. I've said it so many times. I've said it so many times. That is what people think T-Pab is. I swear to God. Joey, 100%. That album is amazing.
He said it.
I still listen to that. I still listen to it. I still listen.
Dude, I was pushing, dude. I swear it was like I got a percentage of that. Like that's how I was acting. I was forcing people to borrow the fucking album. Like I bought that shit, and I was like, you have to listen to this.
Yes,
And
like Temptation, Rockabye Baby. It's a lot of songs on there that like
Super Predator.
I did a whole project on that in school.
That's dope.
I did a project on Temptation, the song. Like I swear I will find it in one of my old canvas from high school. I did a presentation about Temptation from All American Badass because I remember it was like 2017, 2018, and my brother played Devastated. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait, who is this? He was like, oh, this Joey. He was like, this. I'm like, wait, this is what Joey Badass sounding like now? Because I was used to Joey Badass sounding like 1999, like when he came out with Capital Steez. Like that's what I'm saying. So like I grew up from having brothers who were born in the 90s. I grew up with like I had the brother born in 97 that was obsessed with Flatbush Zombies, Pro Era. What else was coming out during Kendrick, of course, like you know what I'm saying, Big Crit, like all of these rappers. And it's like I could, if I wanted to be, I could be a hip hop channel. I'm just not a hip hop channel. I'm not a hip hop channel yet. Y'all will
look, I will say is there a, because that'd be a cool way to pull people in, bro.
Yeah. I can I can talk about this on live. Y'all, I am in the process of making like content more tailored towards like drill rap. Because I mean, if y'all couldn't tell, like I obviously listened to it. Like I made Free Pooh Shiesty and Free Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm not saying it just to say it. I'm not saying it just because I'm a fan of Lil Durk and Pooh Shiesty. But what I will say is there is analysis about especially the black lumpen proletariat that is to be had when talking about drill, and where yes, as an Afro pessimist, okay, yes, I'm going to sit here and be like, yeah, drill still rests on this commodification of black bodies. It still rests on this understanding, and it's generated, drill in itself is generated off Black Death. You can't escape it. Like you can't escape it. But yeah, speaking of, it just came back to my head. You were talking about like Chicano rappers like Cali Lifestyle, like Sucker Free. I love that song. But yeah, like when we're talking about drill, if you want any like real analysis of like what's currently going on within the black lumpen proletariat, let it be in St. Louis, Chicago, New York. If you want to know the day-to-day of what is going on, you're going to have to listen to drill. Like they spell it out for you. They spell it out for you in every single song. They tell you what's doing, who's doing what, what's doing what. We just did this, you know what I'm saying? If you actually want to know the stories of a lot of these, you know what I'm saying, guys, and where when you get into the root of what the root cause of why like a lot of guys go down this path of self-destruction, seriously, it's going to be funny. It all starts with the high school basketball team. 9 times out of 10, it starts with getting cut from the high school basketball team. This event
you have to do. You have to. Wait, have you done something about this?
No, I'm going to do. I'm seriously. I'm writing I'm writing a script about it right now.
Please, yes. Because I will say too, the only reason why, because I'm old, so I didn't follow that wave. But what I can say is that when I first started looking to like who is academics, that was the first thing that came like to my attention. Is like he's able to be so prominent in the streams because this genre is so current in terms of like every track is telling you what just occurred. And so it's almost like he has breaking news every time a new song drops. Yeah, right. And so that's why you were seeing the repercussions of that, of the way that he was adding fuel to that fire. You know, he was bringing even more eyes and attention to that. Yeah.
Like I'll say like that, even like in itself, like when I hate white drill fans, like I despise like that was one thing that like if you ever go on like a Reddit, like a subreddit about drill, like, you know what I'm saying, Chiracology or like the drilling, like it is this thing of where it's like these people aren't seen as people, you know what I'm saying? The people who are participating in these urban wars, in which that's all it is just urban warfare. You know what I'm saying? That are just played. It's just played out on the songs, and it's played out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Just the same streets that I frequent. That is a battleground. That is, you know what I'm saying? People getting in shootouts and all that. Like this is real. But it's like with the war in Chirac, it made Black Death again a spectacle. You know what I'm saying? And where it's like he what like Trap Lord Ross and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a fed. To me, he's a fed too. You know what I'm saying? And where it's like No Jumper too, feds. Like that is a tent. You know what I'm saying? That is a tent organization. Like that is a federal tent organization that is meant to exacerbate gang violence in especially LA. That's honestly what I believe No Jumper is there for.
Oh, the constant feeling of like the black versus brown sentiment, like trying to revive it to such an extent that really cooled down heavy from what it was in the 90s, right? It's still present, will always be present because the brown community is so fucking anti-black. But there has been quote unquote progress in terms of cooling that down. And it kind of reminds me, and it's this kind of, this thing has been done before like this. It's kind of getting a little bit cheesy, I'm not gonna lie. But there's this movie called Guns Akimbo. And it's with Daniel Radcliffe, and the whole premise is that there's basically a dark web live stream of people like essentially trying to survive and fighting to the death, right? And people are forced into it, almost like Jigsaw kind of vibe going on. And in a lot of ways, I mean, that's just replicating the way that certain aspects of black culture are used for white people's entertainment, and that it directly involves death. It directly involves, you know, the suffering, subjugation, oppression, colonization, and extermination of especially black male youth. Like, it's an aspect of it that can't be downplayed.
Like, yeah, like for example, like Bloodhound Lejeff, like the reason why he did what he did was because, like, and got off into that is because, like I said, he got cut from the high school team, and where he literally said, I had to get something, I had to start doing something else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we're like and it's also, you start getting into analysis of like patriarchy, like what are these dudes chasing? You know what I'm saying? What is the reason why they do these wanton acts of violence that are self-destructive? Is because of patriarchy. That's what they're chasing. You know what I'm saying? When they're talking about, I'm doing it for the women. You know what I'm saying? It's because we as a society have socialized men
doing it for the women, or to impress other men in order to intimidate them to have access to women.
Both. I'll say both, honestly, because like honestly it comes into this point of where it's like we as a society have been socialized to associate masculinity with violence. You know what I'm saying? With being able, whoever is able to do and commit the most acts of violence. Look at the fucking president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? This is just how patriarchy works. And where it's like, yeah, this gets into, like, I don't know if you've ever read like Sinyaka Shakur, Monster Cody, talking about like, you know what I'm saying, minor and major patriarchy, and where that's another thing I'm talking about in another one of my essays, like grand patriarchy, and you know what I'm saying, minor patriarchy, where minor patriarchy is really just, you know what I'm saying, day-to-day household patriarchy in your community. Grand patriarchy is more so patriarchy coming from the state. But I think that's what I'm saying, like when we were talking about Monster Cody, he gives great analysis on, you know what I'm saying, gang violence and things like that, because he's a founder of the Crips. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the founders of the Crips, who just got radicalized into becoming a new African. May his soul rest. But like I said, with the War in Chirac, you know what I'm saying, in retrospect, is possibly one of the worst YouTube series to ever come out. You know what I'm saying? And where academics like, well, I stopped doing it because I realized the harm I was doing. Like, academics is a rapist. You know what I'm saying? Academics is a pedophile. Academics is a groomer.
A woman beater. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like DJ Academics, I can go down the 9 with DJ Academics. But yeah. So like when it comes to like the War in Chirac, I was watching that, you know, because my brother was he was going to school in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, at that time. And I mean, my first favorite rapper was like to this day, my profile picture on Substack is Fredo Santana.
Little Pump. Sorry, what? I'm teasing you.
No, it's Fredo Santana. You know what I'm saying? Okay. My profile picture on Substack to this day is Fredo Santana. That's not like, I didn't do that on accident. I didn't do that just to look cool. No, I grew up listening to Fredo Santana. I grew up listening to like early drill. You know what I'm saying? Because right here we're in St. Louis, and where that's a whole conversation, and where it's like, yes, I have connections to the music industry. You know what I'm saying? I keep that more so off of like social media, because then you have, how can you be an anarchist but also know not music executives, but also know, you know what I'm saying, have people in the music industry. It's like, yeah, I kind of have, you know what I'm saying, it's a multifaceted life that I live. You know what I'm saying, like some of my friends, you know what I'm saying, have produced for Lil Durk and King Von, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, it was also like in high school, like that one song that Von and Durk dropped named Jump. Like the beat for that song was made in my grandmother's house. You know what I'm saying? Like that's actually real in St. Louis. So it's like, it's also like it's also like St. Louis and Chicago 4 hours away from each other. And if you look into where like Von, Dirk, Chief Keef, you know what I'm saying, where like a lot of their producers are from, they're from St. Louis. Like Chop Squad is from St. Louis. We actually went to the same high school. I got a picture from when he came back to homecoming one year. I'm so serious. So it's like the drill sound is undoubtedly also tailored by St. Louis music, by, you know what I'm saying, the St. Louis trap era. And where it's like I was able to see the rise of Chief Keef from I was like 5, and where it was like, yeah, I don't like, and all of these songs were like songs that I enjoyed, that I liked. So it's like I remember watching like the War in Chirac, and like you said, it was like this everyday occurrence of like clean up that, bro, this nigga but nah, like when I'm talking, so like when I'm watching the War in Chirac, and he's coming up with these crazy names for like like Lil Reese, like the Chirac Grim Reaper, or like he's calling Chief Keef Chicago's Baphomet. These niggas are 16. They're 16, 17, 15. Like, they're not, like, that's the thing. Like, this led to a whole adultification of drill, and where they're like, oh, these are, no, Chief Keef was 16. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he first came out, Lil Reese was like 16, 17. Lil Durk was like 17. At this point, Von wasn't rapping. He was doing, you know what I'm saying? He was making his name in other ways, and we're not going to get into that. But yeah, like Von Duck, FBG Duck, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The whole FBG versus, you know what I'm saying? And where it's like, it's also like when it comes to drill, it's like we said, like this is entertainment, and where it's like these people just view these people as like, they view these like rivalries as like, oh yeah, it's this faction fighting this faction, and I'm gonna pick my side. So my white ass in Indiana, I'm from O Block. Fuck, you're not. No, the fuck you're not. You're not from O Block. You're not from 63rd. You're not 4K Trey. You're not a Blood. You're not a Crip. You probably never even met either one. You know what I'm saying? And where it's like, yeah, like I'll see that in like comment sections on TikTok, like, yeah, we just upped the score. Who the fuck is we? Again, you're white and from fucking Indiana. You're not, you know what I'm saying? It's this parasocial attachment that people then attach themselves with drill because their favorite artist rep so-and-so gang or so-and-so clique or so-and-so this or so-and-so that. And it's like I'm seeing it play out now in St. Louis with like the new, like I remember I made a tweet about it. It's like it was that I don't know if y'all ever seen that video of the guy getting killed on the doorbell camera. He got killed on the doorbell. He got shot like 13 times on the doorbell camera. And where like this is again, like that video went mega viral. Like dudes in Germany know about what happened to J-Fo. You know what I'm saying? Dudes all around the world, you know what I'm saying, are again partaking in this spectacle of Black Death. And we're like, yeah, in this respect, yeah, that this dude he died. You know what I'm saying? He died. But this also launched the career of another guy, and where this is the problem with the world. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the issue. This is how he potentially makes it out of this situation, and it had to result in the death of this guy. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, yeah, like I just made a tweet about this. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, St. Louis drill is carrying TikTok right now. Like we carrying TikTok right now.
Just going off of that though, it does give you like the true raw nature of capitalism, where you literally got to kill somebody. Yep.
Yeah, street capitalism. Like that's honestly what's going on. And where it's like when we're analyzing the lumping, we really can't sit here, especially talking about the Black lumping. We can't group everybody in the lumping together. You know what I'm saying? It's class, it's like class distinctions even within the lumping. And where like, you know what I'm saying, OGs aren't to the same, you know what I'm saying, rank, or nowhere near the same rank as like a corner boy. And where like there's no such thing for real as a corner boy anymore. But you go what I'm saying, like a teenager, a 13-year-old, like a Robbie, like a Yummy. You know what I'm saying? For example, like a Yummy, Sandifer in Chicago, who was 11 years old. I remember like when I said, like I was like young. I was like 5, 6, you know what I'm saying, years old when I first got introduced to drill. Because I think he came out with Back from the Dead in like 2011. Yeah, Back from the Dead in like 2011. But it's when he came out with that, you know what I'm saying, I was doing, you know what I'm saying, I had access to the internet, and I know how to use the internet. And that's when I learned about the story of Robert Yummy Sandifer. You know what I'm saying? And where it was like, with the story of Yummy, it was like, wait, he was 11? You know what I'm saying? Like he was 11 and he was execution style killed by his by the BDs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at that in that specific section of the BDs, because that's another thing that people don't understand. Like it gets convoluted and complicated when you get into like gang banging, because you're talking about sets, you're talking about cliques, you're talking about this, and where like I saw this one tweet and where I said this in my I ruffled some feathers at Christmas, but I said basically like frats and sororities is gang banging. You know what I'm saying? This is academic gang banging. Oh my God, this started a whole riff raff at the table, but it's true. The first fraternity that most dudes are introduced to is the Crips or the Bloods in St. Louis, because like we have Crips, Bloods, GDs, you know what I'm saying? On the east side, that's what I'm saying. On the east side, we have more so Chicago gangs like Vice Lords, Stones, GDs, and things such as that. And we're
it's
like,
just a class distinction amongst them.
Yeah, if you look into the history of why a lot of these were created, like the Crips were created to resist white supremacist gangs in LA. You know what I'm saying? The Crips were, and then out of that, the Crips started extorting the community, and out of that extortion in the community, you know what I'm saying? The exploitative relationship that a lot of Crips started forming with the community is where you get the Bloods, and where after this, you don't even have, at this point in St. Louis, you don't even have this, because I was actually talking to my uncle who was best friends with my granddad. Like they were childhood best friends, and they grew up in the projects in St. Louis in like the 40s. And they were taught. I remember he was talking to us. He was like, "Yeah, we were called. We had like the Sharks and all these other like gang, like yeah, like it was like, I'm not gonna lie, like the gangs that he was naming. I gotta go back and listen to the audio file. Like these aren't gangs that we have today, A and B. Like they was just naming each other the Jets. Like that's what I'm saying. They was just naming each other everything. And where he was talking about, like when I heard him talking, I would say it's a lot of dishonesty that a lot of older black people partake in, and where we never did this stuff. We never had gangs. We weren't doing all of these. No, the structure still existed. The structure of capitalism still existed that created poverty and created the conditions so gangs could exist. So when we're talking about, when he was talking to us about like this 15-year-old, he was like, his name was James Perry. The crazy thing is, I went to school with a dude with that same exact name. But he was talking about James Perry. He got killed in the movie theater when they were like 15. You know what I'm saying? This is like 1948, 1947, you know what I'm saying, around that time. And so you keep seeing these things, and where nowadays where they grew up is Bloods over there. And where like in St. Louis, you will see like blood on blood violence, Crip on Crip violence, Crip on blood violence, blood on Crip violence. Like it's not one of those things of where it's like it's his unified identity. Most people, like,
right,
you know what I'm saying, think like it's a unified identity. Like when it comes to gang banging, it's not like that. No, it's not the 70s, bro. It's 2026.
It's funny. I don't mention the city. It's kind of obvious what city it is, but you know, when I was younger, there was a lot of moving going on. And you go where it's cheapest to move, right? You're renting rooms, you're renting garages. And I was very fortunate to be able to, with the price, of course, to get out of that city. It's a city that everybody loves to claim out here in LA. And I don't really mention the city because how the violence, especially that era and that time, has been so glamorized. And what's funny is that city now is predominantly Central American, right? It's predominantly Salvadorian. It's no longer predominantly black. So again, like there's a myth created behind these areas. And you know, I got family members that were there also who like try and claim it. And I'm like, bro, like we were barely there. Sure, we saw things and sure we experienced things, but we got out. Like feel fortunate, right?
Yeah. Very fortunate.
Like George Badabana just doxed me, right? Just because I shared an article that he published himself on the internet. And I'm like, that's fine, dude. Like do your thing, do what you got to do. You're not going to pull up. And the difference is that I'm very lucky and fortunate to have actually left and gotten away from real danger. But I still experience that danger regardless. So this internet shit is not real to me because I know how lucky I am, right? Yeah. And so when you look at that area too, like, and we're talking about the birth of these gangs, and one of the main reasons why I'm so understanding or try to be understanding of anti-Chicano, anti-Mexican American, anti-Mexican sentiment amongst Central Americans specifically a little different with South Americans, but generally speaking, Central Americans don't. Now it's changing, but don't really fuck with Mexicans like that. Now it is changing, thankfully, but it was because of how much we dominated the space in Southern California, and they were a minority within a minority that we were just brutalizing, and the xenophobia in this weird fucking Mexican American way was being weaponized and towards targeting Central Americans, and that's how you see the birth of MS-13. And you literally, MS-13 would not exist if it wasn't for Mexican Americans, for Mexicans, like just brutalizing Central Americans, Salvadorans specifically. So again, it's all interconnected, and of course you have the U.S. shipping them out back to El Salvador.
Yeah, it's like it comes from the networks of imperialism that America is doing. You know what I'm saying? It comes like in my case, for example, like I was actually talking to one of my homeboys before this video started about like growing up and going to, you know what I'm saying, funerals and stuff, you know what I'm saying, like gang funerals. Like I'll say this, like going to, out of all the funerals that I can go to, like a gang funeral is the worst type that you can go to because it's just tragic. You know what I'm saying? It's just tragic because like 9 times out of 10, the guy who's in that casket was 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? The first gang funeral that I went to, he was 15. You know what I'm saying? He was 15. So this is like 2010. And it's like, I'm 4, but at this point, I'm not even thinking, like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm like, at this, I know this is gonna sound fucked up, but I'm like, okay, at this time, my 4-year-old mind is associating funerals with, okay, you were old. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you were old, you lived your life, and now we're having your funeral. It wasn't until I became 15, I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, he had no business being dead. You know what I'm saying? And where his killer ended up going, I think his killer out right now. I think, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where he is.
Because he was probably young as fuck too.
Yeah, he was 18. Yeah. His killer was 18. He tried to rob him. He ended up, like, they was on a bus stop. He tried to rob him. You know what I'm saying? Like it went the worst way, where, you know what I'm saying, one of the homies got sent up. And where it's like, yeah, I remember like seeing his grandmother. I remember seeing his mother. I remember all of these things even to this day. And so it's like me growing up, having to navigate St. Louis in like the 2010s / early 2020s is one of those things, and where I still have to navigate it because, like I said, I'm not in a fucking mansion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like Hassan. I don't drive a Lambo. I don't do these things. Like, I still live, you know what I'm saying? I still live in the trenches, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not rich. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is like another thing that like pissed me off with the conscious Lee shit. He was like, you're sitting in your dorm and you're
so condescending, bro.
Yeah, it's so like he was like, you're sitting in your dorm and you're talking to black people who actually, I'm the black person that you're talking about here, motherfucker. Like, goddamn, like he talking about some, oh my God, you're in your preppy college dorm room and you're not tapped with the average experience of the black person in America, nigga. Like, goddamn, bro, no, that just made me mad again, because it's like, bro, who the fuck do you think I am, bro? Like, do you think I'm a nepo baby? Like, I'm not a nepo. Like, that's another thing. Like, yes, like with my family, for example, yes, my family just went into education. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I have cousins? And you know what I'm saying? Am I related to gangbangers? I think that's like,
who's to say, CJ? Who's to say?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not about to get into like it. I'm not about to get Trap Lord Ross. Like, oh yes, my brother.
To be honest, though, CJ, I have heard people refer to you as the Black Hassan. So I don't know why they say that online.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I got off TikTok. This is why I got off TikTok. Because it was like, it came to this point of where it's like one of my homies, like NLH, like, you know what I'm saying? I just was on the phone with him earlier. But we were before we met each other, right? We was on TikTok, right? And it was this white guy who got in his comments and was like, yeah, like the white guy disagreed with the video. I forgot what the video was about. But the white guy got in the comments and was like, yeah, I'm tagging CJ so he can cook you. And then I watched the video and I was like, wait, I agree with everything this nigga said. Like, I didn't disagree with anything that NLH said in the video. And like NLH took that as, wait a minute. wait, I don't care if CJ comes and doing it. And where it's like, yeah, I would do the same thing. I'm like, man, this nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't finna come tell me what to say and do on my platform. And where it was like I said, I was like, yeah, I agree with everything NLA said in this video. And where like at first NLA thought I was like, you know what I'm saying, one of those, you know what I'm saying, like I said, Hassan Pikers, Madeline Pendletons, who just shit on, but no, like my one of my mentors since I was 14 years old, and which that's the pinned comment on this video, like that's been my mentor since I was 14. I've always been around black anarchists. I've always been a black radical. That comes with being in the black radical tradition. But more so back to what I was talking about, like, you know what I'm saying, in my own life, having to navigate this, and where it's like, yeah, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to try to, because that was one of the first things that my professor had said like on the first day of school. He was like, yeah, you sitting, everybody in this classroom is either trying to maintain a certain level of mobility in this system, or is trying to, you know what I'm saying, go up, or trying to generate some sort of substance or stability for themselves. And he was like, if you're saying you're not trying to do that, you're lying. And where it's like, yeah, it's just I had to translate it to, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm an organizer, so you know what I'm saying, do I still interact with people who are in gangs? Duh. You know what I'm saying? Do I still talk to people who are in gangs on a daily basis? You know what I'm saying? But it's, if I was to sit here and like, because if I was to sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'm an OG 8-tray crip, nigga, I'm lying. Like, I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I talk about this in my essay Survivor's Guilt. Like, yeah, do I have certain affiliations? Yes. But will I sit here and be like, oh yeah, this is what I am? No. Like, no. You know what I'm saying?
Do and we should be, yeah, like, yes. I always say, like, I always jokingly say, but quite honestly, like, I'm the fortunate son, because I know how, like, it could have turned out. I have prime examples, you know, of how it could have turned out. And I think unless you really haven't seen it or lived it, you won't like, those are the people that will glorify it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like anybody, like literally, like I have guys in the street right now that get mad when little kids try to like emulate them. You know what I'm saying? Like try to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like the next generation under us, they don't want them doing it, even though they're current, like, even though they stay in this state of contradiction, they like, oh hell no, we don't want them doing this. This is like, I think anybody like my, you know what I'm saying, relatives who are off into that, they never were like, oh yeah, we want CJ to be that. No, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I knew, you know what I'm saying, when I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, the hood, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, I have to conduct myself a certain way. I honestly understand where I am. I'm not just gonna be out here bouncing my ass. I'm not gonna be out here just, you know what I'm saying, thinking this is a fucking like this is just, you know what I'm saying. But it's like, yeah, like you know what I'm saying, certain places I used to hang out like after high school and stuff. Yeah, you gotta know, you were in St. Louis, brother. You know what I'm saying? You have to know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You have to know what's going on. CJ, are you down with the growth and development? Of course. I know some GDs. Yes, I know some GDs. You know what I'm saying? But like my family, you know what I'm saying? Like my family connections, we not GDs. This just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like fam from Illinois is vice lords. This is what it is. Like growing up and being like, that's another thing. Like the type of banging that I was taught is different than how it is now. I could probably get into that more so in a video, but like I was brought up with like literature. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what, like actually what this is. You know what I'm saying? Like what does it mean to be a Crip? What does it mean to be a Blood? What does it mean to be a Vice Lord? Like I said, these are like functional street fraternities. So they have literature, they have rules. You know what I'm saying? This is why like I can history. Say, yeah, like I can say this. My brother used to be signed to Freddie Gibbs. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like when Freddie Gibbs, like by the time that he got beat up at that by Benny the Butcher, you know what I'm saying? By that point, my brother wasn't signed no more. But I'm not gonna lie, Gibbs got sanctioned. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'll also say this: Freddie Gibbs is not a fucking vice lord. That nigga's faking. He's not a vice lord. He got sanctioned. He got kicked out. Like he's not. But it's one of those things of where it's like like one of the major transgressions that like a lot of lords took with Freddie Gibbs doing that was Gibbs was at a fucking pork spot. You're not supposed to be eating pork, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially because you come from this specific tradition of being a vice lord, you're not supposed to be eating pork, bro. So it's like it's like that's what I'm saying. Grew up around like older guys who were gangbangers and things such as that nature, in which they told me what it was and what it wasn't, and where it's like, yeah, I kind of like skedaddle. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hang around too long to, you know what I'm saying, be the guy that was in the cars doing the drills. You know what I'm saying? I more so was the guy that was not so much studying it, but you know what I'm saying, I was more so the guy that was like, you know what I'm saying, going home and reading Wretched of the Earth, guys. Reading Wretched of the Earth. But yeah, like when it comes into my experience with like gang banging, I don't have the stories of where it's like, yeah, I was this like, of course, did I have bad moments as a child? Yes. Was I a bad kid at times? Of course. But I'm not about to be like, I'm a reformed gangbanger who was in juvenile and I now came out. I read I'm not even making fun because this is like real deal. Like this is how the rule book got radicalized. Like I'm not even
laughing,
like
I'm laughing because there's people that will play that up.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm not about to be like, yeah, I was in juvenile and you know what I'm saying, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X and it changed my life and now I'm radical. Like that's not my story. You know what I'm saying? Right. My story is more so like, you know, now would you find a picture that is questionable of me? You know what I'm saying? Maybe throwing up some signs and having some flags. Maybe from when I was a kid. Every kid in St. Louis has those pictures for the most part. You know what I'm saying? It's not very odd to do. But like I said, I'm not about to be here and be like, yeah, I used to be King Von. I used to be King Von and shit. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm radical. Like, no, it's not what was happening. And I'm not about to sit here and fake like that's me. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's No, I hear you. In terms of like that kind of authenticity, right? Or an attempt to cash in on it. Kind of going back to
because I think a lot of people think I think a lot of people think they need to live that life in order to speak to it or to have some sort of validity. But you were talking about Cori Bush?
Yeah, no, the authenticity of Cori Bush as somebody who lived in their car, somebody who was, you know, became a politician and all that.
Yeah, like my mom was her cheerleading coach in high school.
Get the fuck out.
I'm so serious. If my mom was at home right now, I'll come ask. Like, no, that was like
hop on real stream.
Yeah, my like Cori Bush and Cori Bush was my mom's cheerleader in high school, and so it was like I have pictures with Cori Bush, like, you know what I'm saying, like this is you know what I'm saying, but it's one of those things. I'm not going to like hold my tongue in my critiques of Cori Bush. This is another thing that like consciously didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? He was like, so what would you think about somebody like Cori Bush? I don't fucking support this shit that she doing. Like, I don't like, you know, I don't repost it. Like, I don't repost it. Like that. I can be my own person. Like, I can be my own person. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like with Cori Bush and like this, like Wesley Bell, I'm probably gonna make a video like closer to election time. But it's become, I'm not gonna lie. Do I see where she's coming from? Yes. Would I be mad too if Wesley Bell stole $10,000 from my father to run his own campaign? Yes, I would be fucking heated. We wouldn't be, we wouldn't be doing no fucking election. We wouldn't be doing no election. We wouldn't be doing no election. You steal 10 bands? Are you fucking serious? But no, like with Cori Bush, I think this run is more so personal than anything. So I get it. I get the personal reasons why Cori Bush wants to run against Wesley Bell. But like I've been in space with Cori Bush. Like Cori Bush has come to certain events that I've been at. Like she was just at the Juneteenth event in Washington. But it's just this disagreement that I'm going to come to every time when it comes to Cori Bush, where it's like, yes, she can sing the praises of Asada. Yes, she can sing, you know what I'm saying, the praises of the Black radical tradition. She can advocate for actual good things like healthcare. You know what I'm saying? She can advocate for other things that she advocates for, like a quote unquote ceasefire, in which you're never going to be able to get a ceasefire within those walls of fucking Congress. But I digress. If we're talking about these things with like Cori Bush, yes. Do I think Cori Bush is some like evil, demonic person? No. But I believe Cori Bush at the same time, this is my major criticism. It is this thing of where it's like, it is this want to have, to like serve oneself within the system, and where you basically condense yourself within the system. You want attachment to the system to seek some sort of legitimacy, and where I believe like Cori Bush, the things that she wants to fight for, because I remember her sleeping on the Capitol steps. Like I used to get the you know what I'm saying, I used to get the like drop. Yeah, people were actually trying to kill her. Like this is real deal. Like this is why like this is why like what led to the scandal with like her husband being her bodyguard and stuff, and like people being like, oh yeah, she's misusing campaign funds and all this shit. But it's like, yeah, like people were actually like trying to kill Cori Bush, and whereas like, yeah, I wouldn't want a black woman to be indiscriminately killed. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not what I'm about to be advocating for. But Cori Bush as the politician is just something I cannot support, because I don't support politicians. I don't support any politicians. So why the fuck would I support Cori Bush, the politician? And so it's like, when it comes to Cori Bush as a politician, the aims and the goals that she is trying to procure just will never be met by those walls in Washington, in which this is a principle I'm going to stand on regardless of who the fuck it is. I don't care if my mom coached you in high school. I don't care if my mom knows you. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. I'm my own person. I have my own beliefs. I have my own, you know what I'm saying, analysis, and where I was able to come to it. And where do I like Smelly Bill? No, I don't fucking like Smelly Bill. I don't like Whistle Bill. He actually just emailed me. Like his campaign like emailed me a couple weeks back, and I'm like, bro, I'm not fucking voting for you. Like they offered me last summer an internship. Like I turned down an internship with his office. Like these are all real things that go on. So y'all, so everybody that's like CJ does it for clout, CJ sold out or whatever. Yo, if I wanted to sell out, if I really wanted to sell out, if I really wanted to be like J. William J type like content creator, I could have been did that shit. That's just not me. That's just not me. It's just not me. It's just not me. But yeah, like when it comes to like Cori Bush as the politician,
not yet. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like somebody like one of the dudes, he was like, I hope they don't turn CJ into Van Jones. That shit ain't never gonna happen. Like that's never gonna happen. Like that's never gonna happen. But yeah, like when it comes to Cori Bush's this run, like when she bought Hassan Piker down to like St. Louis, it's like I can't take this seriously, bro. I can't take this shit seriously. Like, and it's like if you asking me to take this shit seriously, I can't. Yeah, Ilhan Omar. So like we can get into that discussion. Ilhan Omar. You know what I'm saying? We can get into what she said about and I think this is a tweet that kind of like went viral. I didn't mean for it to go viral, but it's a viral tweet that I just had in which Ilhan Omar says, "This is not what the founding fathers of America envisioned." What the fuck are you talking about? Nigga, they owned people. They were doing manifest destiny. They were doing all of these things. This is exactly what I'm not gonna lie. Is it? I'm not gonna lie. What they actually envisioned is me still on a plantation. You know what I'm saying? They may come back and be mad because I'm not on a plantation. What the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? What, like, you know what I'm saying? Why is this? Why they will more so be of the stock of, they will be trying to actively bring that shit back. Like that's what they will, if they were to come back right now, they will actively be trying to repeal the 13th Amendment. You know what I'm saying? And where that may, you know what I'm saying, cause colonial infighting, if we're talking about like a white supremacist, American white supremacist from 2026 and one from 1776. But like, this is like, if we're talking about what they envision, this is like their state. They may be fucking like, they may be proud. Like they may be very proud of what America has become, because what people don't understand is America has not always been the global hegemon. America, when it first was constructed, was the little dog. It was the little guy on the block, and where America basically was able to America was able to play their cards correctly in the 1800s. This is why I don't think ML study fucking history. I'll say this, a lot of my analysis comes from being like, I used to be very, very, very interested in history growing up. So like, this is another thing. Like I know a lot of random shit about American history. So like when we're talking about like America and like France, for example, like America and France got into it because France was like, wait, why didn't you help us in our revolution? But we helped y'all out. You know what I'm saying? Where America was basically like, y'all helped us out and that's good for y'all. But like, yeah, we kind of don't give a fuck. Like that's pretty much what was going on. And where also you had Ben Franklin and like Thomas Jefferson and like John Adams going over there and you know what I'm saying, having the times of their lives with, you know what I'm saying, French royalty and like the French nobility. Like this is what was going on. And where it's like also you find colonial infighting in like between the French, the Spanish, the British, and you find a lot of these empires fighting, and where America's allegiance to one empire may shift. So like after like I'll say this, growing up we never talked about the war of 1812. Like there is not a lot of like discussion on what even started the war in 1812 and like what the war in 1812 was even about, in which it was a war that was fought because the British kept like blowing up American ships like in the Atlantic, in which this caused like a war to be protracted here because the British were still here in Canada. So it was like, okay, we still here. You know what I'm saying? They weren't all the way gone from North America, which they're still not going. You know what I'm saying? I think Canada is a part of the Commonwealth, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, yeah, Canada, your PR is running out, buddy. But what was I about to say? Yeah, like with the War of 1812, you found that they burned down the fucking White House. Like the British burned down the White House. I don't know how America won that, but yeah, well, I don't think they did. It was like a stalemate of sorts. But yeah, like the British burned down the White House, and where yeah, like with these colonial wars that were being protracted in the 1800s, this is even where I have disillusion with the statement like, oh, all we had to do after to fix America now, all we had to do was get on the Confederates and actually, like, you know what I'm saying, hold the Confederates account. The fucking Union and the Confederates, they're the same people. They're both Americans. All the reason why the Civil War happened was because it was a foundational disagreement for how chattel slavery was going to be further relegated, and where the southern states wanted it to go west, and where the North was like, no, that's where we want our fucking railroads at. We're not doing the slavery plantation agrarian shit. Y'all can keep that. Abraham Lincoln said that out of his own mouth. He said, y'all can keep this. I don't have a problem with this. I'm not going to take issue with it. I'm not going to touch a slave. And where it's like, basically he said, if the American state stays intact, I won't touch a slave. If the American state gets dissolved, you know what I'm saying, that is my worst nightmare. If the American project gets dissolved, that is my worst nightmare.
He didn't want to be the president that collapsed the Union.
Yeah. So basically it's like Lincoln's in this dilemma where it's like, oh my God, I still want to benefit off of Black death and off of Black suffering. But at the same point, I also don't want my capitalist interests to be compromised. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and also like Abraham Lincoln was a mass slaughterer of indigenous people too. That is also just written out of his lexicon. I don't know why, but like that Sioux massacre, I think the Sioux massacre that he did is like the largest single massacre of indigenous people in like American history, if I'm not mistaken. All right, bet that. I was finna say it was a finna hit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go anyway, and like momentarily. But yeah, he was also, yes, I'm saying he was trying to send. That's another thing, like you saw with like the ACS, the American Colonization Society, and where like they were they were like making and crafting Liberia to send us back to Africa. Like this is real like type of stuff, and whereas like that's also another thing, like Thomas Jefferson was a huge proponent of like sending us back to Africa, because it was like, okay, we don't want them here, but like they're kind of here, but it's like it's also going to like cost a lot of money to ship them back to Africa, and also they're technically not the same as when we bought them here. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying, you're going to run, like that's what happened with Liberia. You ran into when we go back to Liberia, you run into Black people becoming junior partners in settlerism once again, and when we were talking about Liberia, like the Americo-Liberians were terrible to the indigenous population. They created systems of segregation. They created systems of marginalization. And whereas like these people, they're just vassals for the American empire. That is what Black people, you know what I'm saying? That's what Blackness can be used for as well. It can be molded into basically this group of people who are just used for the furtherance of settlerism. You know what I'm saying? A specific pocket of us, not all of us. Same thing with Buffalo Soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Where like some Buffalo Soldiers, after, you know what I'm saying, they did what they did, they were back on sharecropping fields. It's real. You know what I'm saying? Like my granddad, he wasn't on the frontier, but he was a part. He was like a child soldier in Korea. Like this is real. He was like 14. He was like 14, 15. Like I was telling you about the I was telling you earlier about the thing that happened with the gang violence, how it was so rampant in the projects in St. Louis in the 40s. So basically, like what the moms in the neighborhood did was they were like, okay, we're gonna all collectively send our sons to the military. And where it's like, this is like a thing in like Black history, and where it's like everybody damn near has a granddad who was in World War II, World War or the Korean War, and where it's like this is another thing that people like kind of detach from the Black radical tradition, like the Geronimo Pratts who came back and you know what I'm saying, were protracting guerrilla warfare against the American government. Like, you know what I'm saying, that is another thing that happened with a lot of people. And where it also, I'll say this, since we're on the topic of St. Louis, like St. Louis is placing in like the Black radical tradition is kind of like talked over. Like I would not ever, for any of my guys from New York, any of my mentors from New York, I'm not saying this to disrespect y'all, but there is a lot of overemphasis that's put on the major cities like New York, LA, Chicago, et cetera, when it comes to the Black radical tradition. But like when it comes to people like H.R. Brown used to come down here and be with the Black liberators. Like that's another group people don't really know about, like the Black liberators. Like the BLA had like I think it's like the BLA has sales down here. Like Myers, like Trauman Myers. I think I hope I'm saying his name right, but he was headed to St. Louis before, like when he was on the freeway and got caught and all of that. But yeah, like so, like St. Louis in itself has a history of Black radicalism that's not really talked about. So like I said, like the Black liberators, like they had a whole protracted like war with like the St. Louis Metropolitan Police, in which the police were seriously coming to communities in Black communities in St. Louis and like pipe bombing them. Like they were pipe bombing them, they were throwing like Molotov cocktails, like they were shooting Black people's cribs up, and where in retaliation the Black liberators would shoot up police stations. Like this is real, like what was actually going on in St. Louis in the 60s. One of my homies, I'll send you his work. One of my homies, you know what I'm saying, Julian talks about this because he took a class in it, because we go to school together, but he took classes about like St. Louis resistance during like the 60s. And so like the Black liberators, when like H.R. Brown would come down, or Jamil Al-Amin would come down to St. Louis, like this was his security detail. And like you also can talk about Percy Green. I just met Percy Green not too long ago, and where like Percy Green had a more radical edge to a lot of more people in the civil rights movement. Like he had like the youth in action, they were called like the youth guerrilla force. Like this is an actual like real deal. Like they were getting like karate and military training and all of this stuff as like kids. So it's this whole tradition in St. Louis that's largely divorced from the wider conversations of Black radicalism. And we're like, again, I have a lot of videos in stock. That's low key why I took a break like for these last 2 weeks. I'm getting I got a video coming about Carmelo Anthony soon too. Carmelo Anthony, that situation fucking bothers me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like somebody just said, yeah, I'm directly descended from military. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a whole tradition in the Black community of like like people being scared into the military. You know what I'm saying? And we're like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is why I hate fucking third worldists who are like, everybody who's ever been in the military is a bloodthirsty imperialist. No, my granddad was like, he didn't really have a choice, and he was a very coerced position. It's a very coerced position that a lot of Black people have been when it comes to the military. And we're in 2026, go fuck yourself if you're in the military. Go fuck yourself. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not finna sit here and discount like the real history that a lot of Black people do have coming out of the Great Migration. And where not only are you escaping, you know what I'm saying, intercommunity conflict, you're also escaping like urban domestic terrorism from the Klan. You know, this is like the second wave of the Klan, and where they lying about the Klan statistics now. It's not only 5,000 fucking members in the Klan. If it was 10 million members of the Klan in the 40s, it's probably like now, if we're talking about it now, it's probably closer to like 70 to 80. You know what I'm saying? Members of the Klan, or like groups, or like organizations that do like convergence with the Klan, and where they're not, of course, they're not going to explicitly be like, oh yeah, we're the KKK, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like turning point, Turning Point USA, come on.
Proud
Turning Point
Boys, all
USA
that.
definitely collaborates with Ku Klux Klan chapters to a galvanized membership, and like the MAGA movement just in general. These are the descendants of the Klan. These are the descendants of the Klan, and we're like we're seeing these repeated incidents of black people being found from trees. Where the fuck do you think that comes from? Man, where like my dad, he got a text from his job. Like this is like 2021. He got a text from his job that were like in the St. Louis area, especially. The Klan was doing initiations, and so like when the Klan does it, like the Klan still does rites of initiation, and where like in order to get initiated, in order to get that higher status within the Klan, you have to kill a black person. You have to kill a black or brown person, and where like in St. Louis, it's not a lot of like it is like brown people here, but like it's just like really like the racial makeup of St. Louis is largely just black and white. So yeah, that's like one of the things, like the rites of initiation for a lot of Klan members is killing. Like you have to commit a murder, you have to maul like this. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like with Danye Jones, for example, he got lynched in his mom's backyard. Like this happened in St. Louis in 2018. Danye Jones was found hanging from a tree in his backyard with his pants down, like shorts on, and like his fists were literally clenched, in which they ruled it a suicide. And so when we talk about the Klan being integrated into police forces too, this is another thing. Like, dude, a lot of like the sheriffs and a lot of like the PD, like they be pulling black people on the side of the road and a black person winds up dead. This is a Klan member. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it gets covered up, the reason why a lot of murders that are committed by the Klan in 2026 get covered up is because either the FBI or the, you know what I'm saying, municipal police forces are committing the murders on the behalf of the fucking Klan, in which the Klan basically realized, wait a minute, we no longer have to be deputized by the state. We are the fucking state. We are the state. You know what I'm saying? The lawyers, the judges, the prosecutors, you know what I'm saying, in the South, they were members of the Klan too. The fucking the nurses in the hospital, you know what I'm saying? A lot of like white women were a part of the Klan. Like I don't know how this guy gets divorced. Like a lot of these motherfuckers, like the grandmas and the mamas and the aunties and shit, they were sewing the robes. They were sewing the robes so their husbands can go out and do this shit.
Yeah. When you were talking about yeah. Go ahead. To you,
no, to me that shit is scary. I'm not gonna fake it like with the whole like robe and shit. No, I want to see your face. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like dressing up as a ghost. I'm not scared of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was younger, of course I was like, wait a minute, this like shit looks demonic as fuck. Like burning the crosses. I believe it is to this day. Like that to me, that's not like I'm not using demonic in a connotation of like Judeo-Christian, but like that is some pretty anti-Christian shit to like burn a cross and then like stand in front of it with your hands extended. This
they're pagans. They're pagans.
They're
pagans. Yeah. So earlier when you mentioned systemic reproduction of white supremacy, I wrote down like white women and the birth rate of white people, right? Where you do have obviously these systems reproducing themselves, but on the personal level, this only works. The system only exists if you have white women teaching their children how to be white supremacists, right? Because white fathers aren't as present, generally speaking.
It's the thing. European they always think it's the black dudes. That's the deadbeats. No, these white motherfuckers don't be having dads. I'm so serious. Yeah. But yeah, that's a good point. Like the way that white supremacy reproduces it. Like I remember, this is probably one of the last things we're gonna talk about. But I had I had a feminism and gender justice class for one of my courses this year. And where, if y'all have ever read To Kill a Mockingbird, y'all understand what happens, and where a black man is falsely accused of sexual assault and is basically lynched. Like he's lynched. He's lynched by the state. And where like my professor couldn't understand me when I said in my essay like Mayella Ewell is siding with white supremacy in this state of being coerced by her father to do so. And where Mayella Ewell could this is what she could do. She could be like, no, this is actually my dad who's abusing me. She could do that. But instead, Mayella Ewell sees the fungible object, which is the black subject. She sees that and says, wait a minute, I can pass on this trauma. I can and when she's not passing it on, she's still going to be traumatized afterwards. I can pass on this punishment that is righteously meant for my father. I can pass this on to this black man, and I know that there will never be a type of a system of accountability or an investigation to see if I'm lying on the stand, and there is going to be no trial for fucking perjury. You know what I'm saying? And which I'm basically trying to explain this to my white professor, who's a woman, who's a white woman. She's an older white woman. I'm trying to explain this to her, and where she's like, "How is Mayella Yule being a how is she siding and aligning herself with white supremacy?" And where it's like, this is the blind spot that a lot of white people have when it comes to intersectional discussions, and where yes, you can be in this state of coercive power. Coercive power can be exercised upon you, but at the same point, you're still committing harm. This is the same thing when it comes to like the plantation of where it's like breeding, you know what I'm saying, the practice of breeding, and where the black woman is still being violated. You know what I'm saying, by the black man in this specific context, still being violated, even though the black man is a slave and being coerced into doing this. The black woman is still being violated. We cannot discount that for any type of measure. You know what I'm saying? That's why it is such a grotesque position and is such a grotesque system, such as chattel enslavement. But yeah, like she couldn't comprehend that. And it was just like, I ended up finishing the class with like a C+. I was complacent with that.
I had the same problem.
It was not looking good at midterms. I'm not gonna lie, it was not looking good at midterms. A lot of my I had a C like this. I can make a whole story time about this. This semester threw me for I had a CIA agent as a professor. I had to drop the class because he was seriously joking about waterboarding people. Like he was seriously like, oh yeah. I mean, like he alluded to, he's like, oh yeah, I've done that. He was like, what have you guys heard that the CIA has done? And then someone was like waterboarding and torture, and we was like, we may have did that. I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to get out this class because like I'm not about to sit here and tell a CIA agent why it's unethical to be in the CIA. You just evil, it's just fucking evil. Yeah, like he was in the Air Force and all that.
And they say once in the CIA, always in the CIA. So,
oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's still like doing intel. Like that's another thing about like
he was there for you, CJ, to recruit you.
Hey, that's another thing. Like he was actively trying to recruit like students into like intelligence. Like he was like, oh yeah, look at this student I have. He's in this sector of intelligence, has done work with this sector of the Pentagon. And I was like, yeah, this isn't a class I want to be taking anymore.
You know, Hassan was recruited in college to work for Homeland Security.
Oh God, it's just something always with this Piker guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's something. It's always something new. He was always. Oh my God, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a cop himself. Like, in which
he called the cops on his girlfriend, so they're close enough.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like Hassan, like yo. Before we depart this stream, like I do have to tell y'all, like, stop watching Hassan Piker. Stop watching Haas. Stop fucking watching stop watching all of these like white social dem creators and thinking you're getting like this is what the left is. The left more so looks like this. I'm not gonna lie, what you're seeing on this stream right now. Like this is the actual like quote unquote this is the left. You know what I'm saying? The Hassan Pikers of the world, that shit ain't the left. That is some that is like some Twitch psyop bullshit. That's pretty much you know what I'm saying, the best thing. And where it's like a lot of people are like a lot of people will be like, well, Hassan was the reason why I got into leftism. Well, I mean, shit, that's pretty sad if Hassan is the reason why I got into leftism. Yeah. Pretty sad. But that doesn't mean that Hassan has this innate utility because he's still a radical. You know what I'm saying? He's still a liberal. He's still like he's showing up to he's showing up to ICE protests with a Twitch camera. What the fuck is going on? Like what type of federal shit is this? This is federal. And where it's like also talking about like the era of like I said about like the infantilization of like black communities that like are topics of like drill culture, like O-Block. Like I consider it like drill, like I consider it like digital imperialism when like white cameramen like Tommy G go to these areas and are like documenting, you know what I'm saying, the violence that is going on and documenting these young the lives of these young guys that are engaged in, like I said, these are functional urban wars. And where like Tommy G is getting all of the money. He's getting all of the notoriety. It's basically like the zooification of black people just in the 2020s. And where that's functionally what the hood vlog is. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of ways, when it's done by white people, it is basically like, let's go look at these black people in their their habitat. And yeah, I'm going to bring a camera and we're just going to interview them. And yeah, this is so entertaining. And where it's like places like O Block are turned into fucking tourist destinations. And where it's like, are you think you're going to see the ghost of King Von on 64th and King Drive? Like, is this what you fucking think you're going to see? Like, you think you're going to see the ghost of Chief Keef? Like, no, you think like the things that happened in the drill song are going to like replay because you now are no, motherfucker. Like, this is not.
And that you're going to be safe.
Yeah,
and you're going to be safe if it were to happen. Yeah.
This is where people live, bro. Like, people live in Parkway Gardens. You know what I'm saying? These are the projects. This is the gutter. You know what I'm saying? Like, Emmett Till actually lives on 63rd. Like, that's another thing. Like, so when talking about drill, you cannot talk about drill without talking about the Great Migration. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk about drill in the modern day without talking about the construction of the projects like especially in Chicago, like Robert Taylor Homes. I wouldn't say so much so Cabrini Green. I think Polo G may be from like that general area, in which Polo G actually interacted with my content before. That's actually a fun fact. Polo G has watched me, guys. I am sponsored by Polo G. But what was I finna say? Yeah, like a lot of these communities that they're talking about, they're like disproportionately and structurally just fucking poor because of like the legislation that was passed during the Great Migration. And during, you know what I'm saying, the civil rights era, and where like these communities are now blighted. Like, that's another thing, like blight. Like, that's another thing that happened after a tornado in St. Louis. Like, it's this era of it's like the second like flight, which I wouldn't call it white flight. It's like this flight and this fleeting of people in St. Louis after the tornado, in which they just can't live in the communities no more because there is nowhere to live because their house got destroyed in a fucking tornado. You know what I'm saying? It's if next time I'm on Streamlabs, I'll show like my audience this. But like the faces of people's houses being ripped off. You know what I'm saying? Imagine like you living in like a 2-3 story house and the whole front end of your house is ripped off, and I can see right into your living room. I can see right into your bathroom. I can see right, and whereas like a lot of people just had to leave they can't go back in there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because the house is now structurally, it was already like on its last leg, but like, dude, you go in the wrong, you step on the wrong thing, you're falling 20 feet now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, no, they didn't destroy the Till house. I said, when I'm talking about Polo G, he's from that general area in like northern Chicago. He's from like I forgot what specific place, but like it is around Cabrini, like where they have like the new townhomes for Cabrini Green. Like, he's not from the towers. He's not from the towers. Hold up. Polo G. Let's see. Let's see where Taurus, Tremonti, Barlett. Yeah, Marshall Field. You know what I'm saying? It's in the Old Town neighborhood, in which I don't think that's too far from Cabrini Green. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, Marshall, like the Marshall Field, and where it's like, yeah, when you're looking at these drill rappers, these are the descendants of the people who came during the Great Migration. Like a lot of them come from, like, a lot of their ancestors are from like Mississippi. A lot of them are from you know what I'm saying, these other places. Yeah. So hold on, I'm reading comments.
They're good.
Yeah, no. They didn't. I think the Till House is actually the Till House is a historic site now. But yeah, it's like most people don't even know that though. Like, they wouldn't even associate like Emmett Till living in the same neighborhood as like FBG Duck. Like, that's a real reality that people have to exist in. Yeah, because I was saying, like, I don't think it's no like rappers from like Cabrini Green for real. But it's just like Cabrini Green was notorious back in the day. But yeah, Deculturation said they gotta go, guys. I do too.
Yeah.
God damn, it's 7:00.
Yeah. I do want to say
this was a good discussion. We need to do this more often.
I'm always down, bro. I'm always down.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
We need, bro. We need, I'm not gonna lie. We need 4 more people here next time. We probably need a round table next time, a round table discussion.
I'm down for that. Get some old people in here other than me.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think we touched on a lot of great things. I didn't know where the conversation was going to go, but I'm glad it went the way that it did. Mainly because I feel like we do give too much importance to electoralism in general. But no, thank you for sharing all that and
and
being
where
willing to be
electoralism,
vulnerable.
like electoralism isn't getting down to the like foundational issues that we are seeing in like a Chicago, in a St. Louis, like with these campaigns that are being ran by like Cori Bush, being ran by Wesley Bell. Like nothing has fucking changed. Like I'm gonna just be honest, like nothing has changed. Like it's only got inextricably worse because this system of racial capitalism is just constantly reproducing itself. Read Black Marxism by Cedric Robinson to know more about that term, racial capitalism. But yeah, like the structure isn't being upended. And one of the last things I do want to say is I'm tired of this distinction between establishment Democrats and non-establishment Democrats, whatever the fuck that means. Yeah. If you're a fucking Democrat, you're a part of the establishment. You're being welcomed into the establishment when you wear that jersey. When you wear that jersey. Just like that Blues jersey that's back there. Just like that St. Louis Blues jersey that's back there. If I also go put on the hockey pads and the skates and go play for the Blues, I'm not a non-establishment Blues player. What the fuck? I play for the Blues. When you put on that jersey for the Democrats, you play for the Democrats now.
Yep.
You are a part, just like every single sports team. You have your role, you have your position. Your role and position may not to be scoring the most points, in which that's more so for Obama within the constituency. Your role may just to be here, may just be a body on the court. Set some fucking screens, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That may be your role. You know what I'm saying? Like that may be your role. Yeah. Like that may just be your role. Like, or just ride the bench. Just ride the bench. Never win an election, but just run like 30 times for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Just ride the bench. We're not gonna advance you in the ranks of the team. We're not gonna ever give you a max fucking contract. But yeah, if you keep coming back for this team and thinking this team is servicing you, yeah, keep coming back.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you having me on, man. Honestly, it was a lot of fun. And I'm down for a roundtable next time for sure. Let me know.
All right.
Look, I think, and I appreciate the fact that, you know, whether it's on TikTok, I know that's kind of on a pause there, but like here on YouTube and your edited videos, your live streams, like I always appreciate the work that you do, especially like it's so refreshing to be around somebody who's like doesn't put up with any white nonsense, you know.
That's another thing. Like people would be like, I make content for white people. I don't.
I was tripping out because I don't know if you know Sean the Black, but he was kind of upset at all the white leftists. And I'm like, bro, like you're rubbing elbows with all of them. You're cozying up to all of them. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you reaching out to radical Black voices? I'm not even saying my brown ass, you know, like reach out to radical Black voices and uplift them, because the white people like already put a spotlight on your channel and they're invading your fucking comment and sections and all this stuff, your chat. Change that up, you know, do something different. I know Terp just put out a video about Bad Empanada, about George, and then George completely doesn't talk about the fact that his sister is being called a slave in school, right? Things like that. Completely misses all that. Puts Terp's face on top of a horse for the thumbnail, literally like making him an animal, right? And it's like, bro, we know what you're doing. You're referring to a Black person as an animal. We fucking know what you're doing. The fact is that a year ago, somebody like you was crying about anti-Semitism, and now you're weaponizing it, right? And you're aligning that with this slick. And I picked up
like
on
he
this.
knows. Like that's the thing about Bad Empanada. He knows what the fuck he's doing. Like he knows.
Oh yeah, he's smart with it. He's online enough to know exactly how he's weaponizing this anti-Blackness and just covering it up with anti-American. Oh, I'm just anti-American, but it looks like you only got that type of energy for Black people. Right, and it's on purpose. It's in order to create that fervor amongst his audience. I mean, he's Nick Fuentes light at this point, you know. So it makes me laugh that this would.
He wouldn't, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if he just does the full on like Nick Fuentes Nico turn, like at the turn, like whenever the leftist grift dries up, like he's gonna do that. And and hopefully, like, and I'm serious. Like he may see this and may go live on his own little tangent. I'm not responding to you, bro. I'm not responding to you. I'm not responding. Like you can kill that right now. Like if he's watching or like one of his like supporters is watching.
Oh, they're in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, I'm not if Bad Up and Nada decides to make a video on me, I'm not responding to that shit. I have better things to do.
Nah, homie thinks he's safe because he's in another country. I know that chair stinks. That's not how it works.
I know that chair stinks. Not... Like, isn't he an abuser and stuff? Like, and some more stuff. Like, he's just not all around, not a good person.
So like... he's following in his father's footsteps and he's sexually harassing women. So he does that shit publicly. I wonder what he does privately. You know?
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, but yeah, just also like I don't really watch a lot of their content, but Terp, like, I'm sure he's facing a lot of harassment, a lot of anti-black racism, disguised as solely anti-American. Because of Bananas cult, somebody showed me that this was people were on Socialism for All. I don't know if you probably don't fuck with that channel, Socialism for All, but you know they provide good.
I think I heard it.
Content.
I just never paid attention to him.
Yeah, and they were commenting on his chat like if it was my channel. It was fucking weird. And so I don't know if it's a bot farm thing going on or straight up just delusional incels that are fans of his. But honestly, like I'm so fortunate to be, you know, invited on to your channel and to other Black radical spaces. Yeah, because it's like, bro, like, yeah, the linchpin of a lot of this, if not all of this, is anti-blackness. And it's so prominent in, you know, the so-called white left. They normalize that shit left and right. So it's refreshing to be, you know, in conversation with somebody who doesn't put up with it. Because there's a lot of older fucking...
It's a lie. I think I'll say this, like, a lot of people, I'm not more so focused on how many people watch me. Like, okay, yeah, if a lot of people watch me, they watch me. But I'm not more so focused on that. I think that's why a lot of people don't ever touch on China. You know what I'm saying? They never get into why China is bad. They never get into why Russia is bad. It's because they want to build like this influence. Like a lot of people want to be influencers. I just got to be so for real. I don't strive to be an influencer. You know what I'm saying? I don't strive to, you know what I'm saying, drive the lamb trucks, you know what I'm saying, off of liberation. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I don't, that's not something that I'm here for. It's like more so like my channel is more so geared towards political education because that's what I do in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do teachings. You know what I'm saying? Did we we touched on China's like complicity in like the Congo, but I can do a whole live or like, I have a video about that actually. I have a video about that, like on this channel, like about China. But yeah, so I hope you all have a good evening. But I'm about to go. Thanks to Deculturation for showing up. This is probably not gonna be the last time. Next time we may have more guests. Who knows? So yeah, like also y'all can also like on my community tab, like if y'all want me to like now with some people like I'll fucking like get mad, you know what I'm saying? If you be like, yeah, can you collab with Consciously? Fuck no. But like if it's other people that you all want to see up here, you know what I'm saying, that are at least cool enough, you know what I'm saying, to sit in these boxes, please let me know. So yeah.
Bye. Appreciate it. Peace.
Andrewism. Yeah, I'll text him for sure. But yeah, I'm about to end it.